Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 112 of the Terminus podcast for the weeks of May 25th, 2019. I am your dispatcher,
May the 25th
Ellis.
be with you.
Right. I'm your dispatcher, Ellis. With us, my engineers are Brett Wiebold and Nick Christensen.
Hi.
Our fireman is Jared Cole.
Hail. Hello.
And our brakeman, returning once again, is Kevon, the man of many phones, Bradford.
Hello.
Man of
I only
many
have
phones.
2 phones now.
I heard them all going off earlier.
I just got a new one the other day.
Like church bell. You know, what's the beginning to your stupid alarm clock song, Ellis?
What, you mean the Soviet anthem, or...?
No,
Oh,
the
yeah,
one that it's like just chimes and
Ding,
bells.
ding, ding. Oh yeah, no, I haven't bothered to change that. I've had the phone for about a year. I've had it for over a year, and I just literally haven't bothered to change it from that. Because there aren't any good ones on the phone. I hate all of them. Anyway. Before we, I don't know, something to do with alarms. There's an alarm pun to be made. The train will terminate at this station.
And actually, I mean.
In a city with stargates, one lamp, who describes himself as a man. It's really kind of strange, and there's guns in there too as well, and it's all around the Grand Old Opry. It's kind of confusing. We're watching Dean.
We're watching Dean. He's in Gary's Mod. He's playing with Stargates. I wholeheartedly approve. I was going to try to watch Jake Rail because he was on GM Promontory, but it wouldn't work, and this was just another stream that I could choose. Anyway, if you want to stalk you while we make the Terminus podcast, you can just be my friend on Steam. I'm Trayman1996. Anyway, speaking of trains and sometimes men, there were some derailments. Actually, I guess there were probably, at least one man included in all of these because, human error. Starting with a train that caught fire. Actually, there was probably nobody around this one, so I lied. It was BNSF engine. It was just hanging out. Probably idling, because they do that. And... what, officials said they arrived to find a train locomotive on fire. So, it sounds to me like they had let this thing sit and idle for quite some time. And then it caught on fire. And then at some point down the line, somebody noticed it was on fire and called the fire department. It was just in a yard in Teague, Texas. So that's, there was fire, but there wasn't really anything super eventful. Then the other two, that was BNSF, the other two are from Onion Pacific, the first being a derailment that tipped over a bunch of, what are those? They're hopper cars, I'm not sure what they're full of. Something light in color, I thought it was ballast, but it doesn't look like ballast.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I don't know what the heck happened here, but they just tipped over a bunch of the train and they really gouged up the road. But, yeah. Actually, it might be ballast.
Oops.
Yeah. So...
I think it's ballast.
Yeah.
Those are MOW cars.
Yeah. Well, they're MULX, too, so, yeah.
Mulks.
Yep. Nice job. It crossed Farm Road 2929, so we should know where that is based on GeoGuessr. Oh, wait, they don't make any sense.
E and 7/10.
Union Pacific also had a derailment at Southside Rail Yard in San Antonio, near Quintana Road. A flat car derailed on a curb. On a curb? Clipping the backside of another rail car carrying vehicles. Okay, in what situation do trains usually get tripped up by curbs? Just
Street running?
Fast.
I don't. The incident did not affect traffic. It was just in a yard. So anyway, they tipped over or partially tipped over an auto rack. When bad things happen with auto racks, you really have to hope that they're empty, or else things just got really expensive. Because a train car full of cars, new cars, if that thing tips over and you smash all those things, that is easily hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Loads of E-Moon.
Plus the cost of the car.
Anyway, the insurance company be damned.
Yeah, anyway, if you want to look at those links in detail, they'll be down in the cargoes, which you can find the link to below. Just a side note, for those accessing the cargoes, the links to access the Skype groups no longer work because of an influx of Russian bots. So, for the time being, they've been disabled. If you want to get in them, talk to me on Skype at Bombs321. So,
Well, yeah.
yeah, it's bots.
Duh.
Duh. Russian bots. Okay, so...
you didn't include Union Pacific Dart Railman?
I don't remember there being another one that was really noteworthy. What was it?
The big thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't... we'll talk about that
derailed.
later. We'll talk about that
Okay.
later. That transcends the class of mental responsibility. If that was, like, the only thing for them, then I would definitely have put it in there. But,
Okay, fine.
the big oof...
Yeah, the big oof. But anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We would like to have everyone on that was there for the debrief. Particularly Jader, because he has a lot of really good pictures. But
I have stuff I can talk about that's not, well, semi-related, but not related.
I mean, we can go over some of the stuff, but this is something that you want to bring up.
You guys didn't go and see the Train of Tomorrow car.
Yeah, exactly. Which, what was the Train of Tomorrow exactly?
Okay, the Train
It was
of
like the
Tomorrow,
train of yesterday, but newer.
Thanks, thanks. Okay, Milky.
GM Train of Tomorrow. Pulling up a picture of it. It was this wonderful train that GM had demoed around with E-units and passenger cars, and it was an all-dome passenger train. And it ran between 1945 and 47.
Okay.
And they had this beautiful observation car on the end of it that was a dome observation. And then it got sold after the Train of Tomorrow to UP. Oh, well, I guess I'll get a promotional ad for the train.
Okay.
Hold up. There we go.
So, it was originally owned by GM and run by the SP?
It's won by various railroads. I think he was one of them, but UP wound up with the train.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I heard you say UP bought it, and I was like, wait, so who did they... Oh, yeah, UP wound up with it, and I thought, okay, so whose was it before then?
Yeah, after the tour, UP purchased the train. And one of the cars, which happened to be the observation car, Moon Glow, and here's the interior artwork of it. Had a pretty fancy interior, not gonna lie.
Oh, I've seen this thing. Yeah, this is weird. This is honestly, I mean, it's really cool, but it's such a strange looking, just the way the unit blends into the rest of the train.
Yeah.
It looks like it was designed to be on shared trucks or something.
Yeah.
That's true. But anyway, getting to the point where it is now, it became a UP dub, and then at some point UP removed the observation part.
Removed?
Yeah. It no longer has the observation bit of it. It's just a dome car now.
Oh, okay, so it just has a normal door in the back?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
So I'll send the pictures of it.
How can you tell that it wasn't just one of the other cars? Because they all seem to have domes, at least by the promotional image.
They all do, but this one in particular was the observation car.
Okay.
I did a little bit of research into it before I got it. But anyways, I'll dump some pictures of it. And also on the same row of cars, because this is cars owned by, I think, the NRXS, as far as I'm aware. There's a Hopper, two interurban open-air trailer cars, and a Will Bullet car, which are high-speed cars.
How high speed is high speed?
100.
Not.
100? Damn. Because I was gonna say, like, I know that in terms of interurbans, the usage of the word high speed,
It's very well.
yeah, it's a rough sort of usage.
Where is it? Okay, I'll dump those pictures right there. Anyways, the NRXS, or I think actually owns the cars. They acquired the dome in the 90s from a scrapyard in Pocatello, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Pocatello.
And they've owned it ever since. And there have been attempts to move it to the Union Station in Ogden. And that's about it. There's been attempts.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
Ogden seems to be so receptive to, sharing their space with people. We did go see the 223 though, which that was kind of cool. They've got a really, really pretty figure.
It's an interesting engine. I don't know. I heard something about that tender and realized why the lettering was kind of goofy on it.
Is it
They
the kind
painted-
of thing that you can share?
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to. They painted the entire tender white, masked off Denver and Rio Grande Western, and then painted the entire tender black.
Oh, wow. Why?
Which is, I have no idea, because it clearly doesn't give the best results, and it seems like a lot of extra work.
Yeah.
So,
Whoops.
but yeah, that's why the lettering was a little bit goofy.
The pictures didn't send.
They certainly were. The lettering was a little bit like the more you looked at it, the worse it got. It wasn't.
Yeah, it's just not very clean.
Yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't like there were just bits missing.
Yeah, well, there are bits that were just had chunks added on to the letters.
Yeah.
It just wasn't very clean.
Oh, it's like it probably is wherever they peeled the tape off or whatever they were using to mask the letters, and it just pulled off bits of black paint.
Yep, because they either waited too long or didn't wait long enough, because it's a really, really tough balance to strike.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that doesn't...
Yeah, why'd they do that? I don't know.
That doesn't mean you can't get in there with like a paintbrush and fill in the little areas, but...
No.
Pain in the neck.
Yeah, so... 223 was cool. I did talk to... I do want to leave that pitch. I talked to a guy from the CNS Society, actually, who has apparently seen the boiler close up, Boilermaker. Said there's nothing inherently wrong with it.
Well, that's good.
So all that talk
I suppose.
All that talk of, oh yeah, we need a new boiler, we need a new boiler, we need a new boiler.
So I don't need a new boiler?
No. It sounds like they're wanting a new boiler because they either don't know how to bring that one into compliance or don't know that or don't want to, I guess.
I mean, it is a lot of work, but it's at the same time a lot of money for a new boiler.
I was going to say, it's a lot of work, but it's more work and more money and more time, a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason it's sort of an uncommon thing to just make a new boiler, especially with small-time restoration groups like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so it's a cool engine. Also at Ogden Union Station, we saw two things that were they're kind of big, really. Big and black, and they said Onion Pacific on the side.
833.
We saw multiple of those, as a matter of fact. We saw like at least three of those.
That's true. There were three of them there that were large and black and steamy. There were two of them that had steam coming out of them, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them said "Big Boy" on the
front.
front.
They fired up 833. No, okay.
Yeah. When we asked it what its name was, it said "Feed."
And one of them I definitely didn't see the day that I got there.
Yeah, I know. Well, you and Achilles cheated. Like, you're posting all these pictures and we're driving across the desert going, son of a gun.
Cattle guard!
Hey, that's
yeah,
probably
that
the last cattle
was
guard we're
fun.
going to go across, unless it's a cattle guard on I-70. Oh, hey, a cattle guard.
I stand corrected. Cattle guard. Brung, brung. As we're chasing the antelope up the on-ramp.
Yeah.
I guess I can talk about this too. There was some foments that happened.
Or there was
the
unending
rail-
fomage, but,
Yeah. This whole trip was foments.
Unending fomage. What
But-
was some of the worst people that were foaming?
Worst people?
I don't know.
We didn't
I don't know
really...
about the worst people.
I mean, clearly the worst person was the person who came up to me and went, "Hey, when is the next episode of the Iron Horse and Chronicles coming out?"
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait,
No.
that actually
What?
That did actually happen. We ran into
Oh
two
my
fans, and it was awesome.
That's
Two
awesome.
separate locations.
Yeah.
It's not like they were
Yeah.
a group. Like, there were two separate times on different days that we were approached. It's like, hey, do you guys do the Terminus podcast?
Yeah. Well, there was the... What was his name? Reese? Or...
Yeah, we.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew I know the spelling. I just didn't know how to pronounce it because he made a point
Yeah.
about the spelling. And then there was the other kid.
I can't remember
I
his
can't
name.
remember his name either, but he had the Russian
the
hat.
awesome hat.
That was my favorite part about that. He's just he walks up to us. We're standing on the bridge waiting for the big boy. I turn to him. I go, I see his hat. I go, Sorosvutia. And he just sort of looks like deer in the headlights. He goes, "Duh," and walks away. And then he comes back and he introduces himself to us, and he's like, "Oh, I watch you guys. Like, are you Ellis?" We're like, "Yeah, whatever." And so we, loosely hung out with him because we were just all waiting for the big boy. But
Right.
that was
Well, and I think all of our minds were a million places that morning. I know
yeah.
I was half asleep waiting for that thing to show up.
But that was awesome, and there weren't really any bad foamers that we ran into. There were plenty of people that were
in particular,
what?
In particular, I liked the guy that we ran into at the Twin Bridges in Weber Canyon. What was his name?
The
The guy that drove up while we were filming the last
I wanna
quote-unquote
say-
podcast.
I want to say his name was Al or
Mike?
something like that.
Yeah,
I think it was
no,
Michael.
He was from Jersey.
I think it was Mike.
I think it was Mike as well. Yeah, it was Mike because I made the joke about him being future Weibold. It was Mike.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. That's right. Everybody walks off and leaves me to walk up the hill with Mike. Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
standing there going, so do they look similar?
Yeah.
I'm gonna show
Mike,
the picture
that's
of the,
really
the
cool, though.
future dome thing.
Ow.
Here's a few shots that I got.
It was a really neat trip. It was bizarre because we showed up in the hotel the first, we've driven for 7 or 8 hours at that point, or actually closer to 10 hours after all was said and done.
Yeah.
Because we stopped for
Including the
we
stops, it was like 10 hours.
Right, it was 10 hours after we had left Gold and we arrived in Ogden. And in the hotel lobby, we're looking around. There's a guy in a Santa Fe hat. There's a guy with a BN jacket. There's a guy that has a lapel pin that's a spike. You're looking around going, my God, we're surrounded.
Yeah. There's a guy with a UP
Surrounded by
shirt.
foamers.
Yeah. No, it was amazing. It was who coined it? Who was the first person that said it's like Foamer Woodstock? Because it wasn't me, but I
Jader.
love that.
It might have been Jade.
it might have been
when we
Jader.
actually showed up at the Spike event.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Because it really was like Foamer Woodstock or Foamer Burning Man or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that's really cool that somebody comes up and was like, they recognized you guys
Oh, yeah.
and was like,
Yeah. I feel bad because we don't recognize the Russian kid's name, but I think we wouldn't know him as anything besides the Russian kid.
I mean, I was still souped. Running into one person was cool enough. Because I went up and I went to get a couple pictures of Katie because I was like, I need to, I need this.
Right, because we were going to see Shelby 2 days later.
Yeah, exactly. And
Who, for those people that don't know, plays Sam.
mhm.
Oh.
And I'm doing that. I take the picture. I'm just standing there. I'm looking at it, and the guy and Reese comes up to me and he asks me that, and this sort of tongue-in-cheek way, and I was just totally, I totally blanked. I was like, what? Like what? Like somebody's asking me
With
this?
the next episode of the Iron Horseman Chronicles.
I was completely unprepared. I didn't expect to be running into anyone.
Flashbacks.
Although it's really funny, when I got back, I was going through comments to get ready for the next under construction. I saw his comment on a timetable. I think said, "See you guys, see you guys at Promontory, or see you guys in Ogden or whatever." And
Oh,
so he knew.
he was looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
My God.
Oh, that's cool though.
It was so cool. It was so cool. And, like I said, there weren't really any negative interactions. Like, I mean, there were definitely people that were all over the place. Like, there were people, first of all, all the places were super crowded for the chase. But there were, while we were waiting.
I believe it.
Honestly, and I hate to call it this because it really wasn't that bad, but the biggest moment of like rolling my eyes at someone was, gosh, Wyoming's a horrible, or why would you ever want to be in Wyoming? As we're in a restaurant
Yeah, no,
in
that was
Wyoming.
me. That was me. No, it was, man, this state sucks. I think that's what I said. Because I didn't have signal in the restaurant.
Yeah, and the waitress and everybody in the bar just kind of looks at Ellis
Nobody
like,
looked. Nobody looked. It did not give anybody a moment of hesitation.
Sitting down to lunch in a bar in Wyoming.
Like,
Man,
this
this
state
state
sucks.
Wait.
And people turn in like, "What did you say?"
Yeah. Like, what are you?
I would listen, if somebody had confronted me on that, I would have been like, do you not accept this? Like if somebody lives in Jersey, they know. You know?
Well, yeah, but that's Jersey.
Yeah, but this is Wyoming!
Well, Wyoming isn't that bad. It's just, it doesn't have a lot of positives going for it. It's not like
I'm
Jersey
aware.
where there's a bunch of negative going for it.
And the negative is that it's New Jersey, but like,
Also, you and Jader slept through a lot of Wyoming.
it wasn't a
Jader
lot of Wyoming.
More.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Is this everyone or just him?
Yeah, that.
I'm still here.
I'm still here.
Wolf's dead. He's dead.
Not
He was taken by the
Oh, he's back.
the Wyoming mafia.
He's back.
Wait, we missed that entire
Yeah,
conversation.
you just like dropped out of the call.
Did I bug out? Oh, sorry, I'm in the kitchen. I'm making dinner.
Oh, yeah, that'd be why.
I mean, in fairness, you were asleep for probably a half hour at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, I was-
even though the scene did not change in the slightest.
I was gonna say, I know I wasn't asleep for that long. You know, I really
Jader slept through most of Wyoming.
I don't blame him at all.
No,
Anyway,
He's from Ohio. It's like.
it's Wyoming. There wasn't a lot to miss.
I've
Although
been
that said, the roundhouse at Evanston, the little
Awesome.
yard they have there,
Badass.
that was really cool.
was
And the machine
gorgeous.
shop that we were definitely allowed to go into.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, this building is awesome.
Oh yeah, no, it
Oh.
was fine. They had one of the doors open.
Yeah.
No, it was unlocked.
Yeah,
and then we
it's
came out
open.
the other side and it was roped off and it said, "Do not,
Well,
Yeah, well,
that's their fault
yeah.
for not closing all the doors.
no soy entrados." I don't know.
No
Yeah.
trace passing.
No trace back. And
Oh.
where were we? Oh, we were in Grand Junction. There was a sign, "No trace passing," and we were trace passing.
Yeah, there were three of us. That was were we?
in at the train-themed restaurant at the depot in Grand Junction.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Good place, by the way.
Very good place.
Anyway,
Oh,
all right.
By the way, after we left Evanston, they were giving wires on the turntable.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Which we determined is centered.
I would have. Yeah, it is. I would have
Wait,
if-
why wasn't it? Why wouldn't
because it looked off center from the ground. It looks like it's pushed more to the west.
The north side.
Anyway, yeah, no, I would have loved to ride on the turntable because then I would have been rotated on not all three gauges, of course, because there are more than three, but all three major U.S. gauges of turntable.
Did we ride on the one at EBT?
Oh no, we did rotate it though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I interacted.
I was going to
with
say,
them.
you wanted to ride. Okay, you interacted
Yeah.
with.
I did want to ride on it, but I thought of it hours and hours afterward. I wish we had.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Next time.
Man, I wish we rode that turntable.
I do.
That's still,
That's my only regret in life. I'm going to be on my deathbed.
It crossed your mind a few after that.
Oh, there he goes again.
We
Here
were
he goes.
locked down horseshoe,
Yeah,
You
well,
go.
you know.
waiting to be arrested.
Well, you know. What did Chris posted his picture of, like, here's what Horseshoe Curve looked like in, 1920 something. And I was like, and if you look at the bushes over to the right,
Yeah,
you can see Chris.
And the cops.
Yeah, and the cops in the distance.
Oh, speaking of that, how many cops do y'all see like on the road in Wyoming and stuff?
Quite a bit.
Quite a few, yeah. But, you know. They were just
There
watching.
were quite a few cops, and they were significantly outnumbered.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was like, why don't they...
To the point that in a lot of cases, they were just giving up, and it's like, okay, let's keep people safe, let's keep them from doing so stupid, but these people that are trespassing, there's too many of them to keep track of.
I said, like, look at all those people, they're going to run our squad cars,
that.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm the only person that on the trip that got talked to by Union Pacific Police.
What did you do?
I got told to move to the other side of the street.
Oh, how dare you?
That was it.
Lol.
Anyway.
Although there was a UP special police officer that was there for like an hour while I was on the other side of the street. So, I think when the crowd started coming in to go see 414, yeah.
Yeah, well, when the crowd shows up, the second place we went to, the bridge was just... Oh
Yeah,
my
that was
god.
badass.
The bridge was gonna, like, it was bowing under the weight of the foam.
It was so many people, but it was awesome. I was so.
I got a nice shot of you foamers.
And I remember what?
I'm gonna go down in the creek to try and get a picture. Okay, just be on the lookout. Remember, it's snake season.
Oh god!
Get back! Get back! Get back! Get
yeah,
back!
the
get
time
back.
that Jader almost died.
We literally died.
He was. It wasn't a rattlesnake.
On a snake.
It was a bull snake.
Yep.
And I'm not saying this because I'm an expert on snakes. I'm saying it because Weibold said it. But
the Weibold's an expert.
It was a bull snake that was okay. So we were down foaming the joint line on the last day before everybody left.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you want to say something before we get into that.
I know. Go ahead.
Okay, so we're down foaming the joint line. For anybody that knows it, we're at the trestle plate girder bridge at Larkspur. And we're sitting on the side of the road. Ellis and I are in the bed of the pickup truck. We're waiting for a manifest freight to come through that we had kind of been chasing since like Castle Rock. And we're sitting around Jader's, I'm going to go down in the creek to get a better picture. And I kind of turned to him, okay. Be wary, though, because we had just had really heavy rains, and the last thaw had been only a couple weeks ago. In the tall grass, there will probably be snakes. It's snake season. Just keep an eye out. And he takes one step off the road and starts like fiddling with his camera. Like he's not even in the bushes or anything yet.
He was like one
turn
foot
around
into
and
the tall grass, you know?
Yeah, and I turn around and look at him over my other shoulder and immediately start going, get back, get back, get back, get back, get back. And he's not sure what it is. And he looks down and there's a giant bull snake like a foot away from him sleeping.
Yep.
And he jumps and gets back and gets in the truck bed, and we watched the thing the whole time, and it moved a little bit, so it wasn't dead, but it was
sleepy.
It's good that it was asleep, because bulls aren't venomous, but they are mean as hell. It definitely would have bit him had it been awake.
Wow. Yeah, I remember you mentioned that, and I looked down, like right before you said something, I looked down, and in my head I go, that looks like a snake.
Oh boy. But did Trader have 3 points of contact when that happened?
I forgot about that.
Shit.
Oh yeah, that's the time when Milky almost died. So many people almost died.
Yeah, that was a fun time in Salt Lake City.
Cramming,
almost killed Milky.
Yeah, cramming people into the truck, and we're like all getting in, and Milky's getting in. He's got like 2 hands on the side of the truck and 1 foot.
Shuts.
Yep.
The door behind me shuts, and I thought that was the last door to close.
It wasn't.
And so I just kind of start going. I'm moving away from the curb. It's time to go. And apparently, that was 3 of 4 doors shut, not 4 of 4 doors shut. I didn't realize.
And so he starts driving away.
Milky was sort of hanging out the side of the truck until we stopped a couple feet later.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's like, whoa.
Get on the right foot. 3 points of contact.
Yep. To be fair, you did not fall. You did not drop anything. Like it was, you did good.
Yeah.
Well, and also in fairness, just to defend myself a little bit, it's not like we were totally...
No, you didn't take off and try to drag
away from the curb. We drove, we rolled away for a few feet, maybe, like a yard.
Also,
Pick up
but that was
You took off at a reasonable clip, but
Yeah.
not.
And I almost died in the go-kart race.
Oh my god. Yeah, because you were
That's the
foaming.
difference. Oh, jeez.
And then I
And
almost
this cart fucked
I almost
everyone
lost an
behind
eye.
him.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Achilles got me in the eye once, and then like 5 minutes later, almost a second time with the antenna on his scanner.
And then you just.
Hit
So-
you in the
so
eye
since-
with the antenna?
From that point, I carried the scanner and I wore my glasses whenever I could.
Along with the Krispy Kreme hat.
Oh yeah, that's right. I wore the Krispy Kreme hat almost non-stop from
We
when
had Fort Collins and Ozzy Osbourne here with the Krispy Kreme hat.
I wore it again. I hardly took it off from when we bought Krispy Kreme on the morning of the 13th to when I landed in Rhode Island at 1 a.m. on the 15th.
Oh, boy.
I was wearing it almost the whole time. I got into the car with Madison and I was wearing the hat. Like it was good. It was worth it. I love Krispy Kreme.
Had we gone to In-N-Out, you probably could have gotten one of the In-N-Out hats and worn that.
Oh,
I
we
would
did go
have.
there.
They did go to In-N-Out. We did go to In-N-Out, and I thought it was okay.
I thought it was alright.
I like In-N-Out.
I didn't dislike it. The fries were kind of bleh, but I never
Yeah, the
really
fries
liked
were
fast food
not
fries.
great.
Honestly, I'm not one for fries.
Wait till y'all try
Yeah.
one.
In-N-Out- In-N-Out is okay.
In-N-Outs in California, the fries at the Ogden one or at the Salt Lake one were very much meh.
In-N-Out is okay. It's definitely not my favorite burger place, but
It's very inexpensive.
Yeah.
I'll give it that.
it
Yeah,
is. It is.
It's good.
It's good for what it is. All right. So let's not talk about food. Let's talk about the other stuff we've done. So I want to say real quick because I forgot to mention this last time. I got asked at work. I got asked by one of the higher up guys if I would want my name to be put on the thing for a certain project. You know, they needed to send in a list of names of people that would or could work on this project come November. It's a very large project. It's the kind of thing where they're going to be able to pay 50-something people a year for a year of work, effectively. It's huge, and it happens to be called Texas Central, otherwise known as the Texas High-Speed Rail Project. And I am super excited to be working on that. And I can't really discuss anything because he couldn't really discuss anything with me because if we were to converse about it anymore, I'd have to sign an NDA. So I won't be able to talk about it on here. But I will be doing some work on it. Whether that's work in a civil capacity or a traffic impact capacity, I don't know yet. They're probably just going to use me for, whatever they need. I can do estimating, I can do traffic. I have some work in civil, but I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. Like I said, it starts up in November. I am souped. In other news for me, the NEB&W is going to begin reassembly of its layout in fall. And they are completely changing the structure of people. It's going to be pretty much all students from this point forward. And this isn't something that's very popular among the alumni, just like many things. In my opinion, it could cripple the railroad, which, obviously isn't good. But we'll see where it goes. It's just that the people that have worked on it, including John Narish, who's worked on it for very nearly 50 years at this point, who's basically given his life for this railroad, will no longer be part of the railroad hierarchy. And that's something that RPI has decided, but people have had... he has had input on it, so I don't know what he thinks exactly, but I can only assume that he thinks the railroad's going to be in good hands. And I assume he's going to still take on some sort of advisory role, but not an official position as, whatever he was in terms of being the creative head of the railroad. On the PN side, I actually visited. I went back I've been there now 2 weeks, which is good because, I pay money to go there, so I should go there. And also, I'm head of electrical now, like I said. And we had some issues with our wiring and a cord that was going funny and screwing up the whole layout. But I found, because I had not taken with me when I moved, Johnson, Bell, all the coaches, my club car, a bunch of other pieces of rolling stock. I had stuck them in a closet at my house, or, downstairs when I lived at Darling Street with my dad. I put them in a specific area. I was like, I'm going to put all my model railroad stuff over here. And then I didn't even open that cupboard when I was moving. I didn't think about it. And so I was tearing up the house looking for my engines. And I go, wait a minute. I think I know where they are. So I called my dad and I was like, are you home? I went over. I opened it. Everything was there in a bag already. So I just took it. I went over to the model railroad and I ran Johnson around. I brought the whole coal drag around with him just for the sake of it, and just to rub steam power in the face of the diesel guys at the club. So
how many times did Johnson derail?
On the first lap, I think once that caused a problem and once that I caught, and then the second lap around I don't think he derailed at all. But yeah, no, the curves are a pain in the neck. There was also a guy with what is the anthracite, the Lehigh Valley thing, the red and black streamliner engine? Pacific or Hudson. I don't know what the name of it is.
The John.
Oh yeah, it's a John Wilkes. That's right. It's the John Wilkes. No relation to the guy who killed Lincoln. But yeah, somebody had that. He had an actual model of that, except the engine itself was dead. He said that the mechanics in it were totally shot, and the better solution for him was to have the engine be a dummy, and he's powered it, so he has the whole consist, but the power in the consist is all in the tender and the baggage car. The tender is an S1, and the baggage car is a doodlebug that the shells have been replaced with the tender and a baggage car. It was actually really cool. And there were a bunch of other standard people there. There was a couple people running PRR engines, steam engines, and Don with his New Haven stuff.
Did they go to Steamtown?
No, nothing went to Steamtown. Although I didn't even touch Lee and Ella. Although Don asked me, he's like, "Are you just gonna let those things sit there and gather dust?" I was like, "I run them like every time I'm here. Whenever the kids show up, I take them around. I let the kids run Lee or Ella or whichever one they want to, because it's something that I'm not worried about like breaking or whatever, and it's not club equipment, it's mine." And I love it when like some kid you see their face light up and you're like, "You want to run something?" Totally worth it. Anyway, but yeah, so we had that, and then we had about 2 hours of that, and then 2 hours after the layout went down, I went and sat in the room, and we had some vigorous political discussion, as happens in these sort of clubs. So that was fun. I tried to drag TJ over there, but he slept until like 2 in the afternoon, and then he wasn't available. What were you saying, Kevon?
Oh, I was saying, speaking of model railroad stuff, guess what I haven't bought? Or guess how long
it's been since you bought a Q2? I'm thinking at least 4 weeks.
Bought a Q2, that was like 2 years ago.
Sure.
Bought a model train, it's been like, it's actually been 4 months since I bought a model train.
Been like 4 hours, man.
Yeah, so long, damn.
I don't have money right now. I just sold a train.
It's been like 4 years for me. Get good.
I did. The last thing I did buy, TBA.
It definitely hasn't been 4 years for you, dude.
No, I think it's been maybe like 2.5. I don't know. It's been a while since I've bought a model railroad asset. Like,
I bought that thing.
What the hell was that?
And I kind of want to make it Granite Rock 10, maybe.
Do it.
Do it.
Please do.
Do it. Good, Anakin. Good.
Speaking of Granite Rock 10, I went down and saw her when they fired her up.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. I love those pictures.
They fired her up for a chartered wedding, which I think is
Aw.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so I'll post the pictures so you can show everybody. But
Didn't you take your brother there? Or was that
yeah, I
another
did.
trip?
I did take my little brother because he, poor little pleb, had never seen a steam locomotive running. So I was like, I'm gonna change that today. And so he canceled his plans with his friend to go and hang out with me and look at the steam locomotive.
Aw.
That's awesome. Hey, the Jupiter was the first wood-fired engine that I had ever seen.
Yeah.
Wait,
Ditto.
it's actually they actually had it running on wood?
Yeah, they do.
Cool.
They were built as
119
oil, but
was
they got
also
converted
built on
to
coal.
wood and coal, respectively.
Hysterical accuracy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, but those aren't the original locomotives.
No, they aren't
right?
the original locomotives.
No, they're
Okay,
replicas.
that's what I thought.
They're very well done replicas.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
Yeah.
They're so pretty.
Like, we were all foaming over, like, how well kept they are.
And Weibold was like, "Where do
They're
you get your
very
coal?"
clean.
Yeah.
I was curious.
Foamer.
I'm not saying
Again,
there's
our
anything wrong with that.
our
I'm saying it
mine
was funny.
might be in big trouble. We might need a new place to get coal. I
Yeah.
need to figure out where everybody gets coal.
Yeah. Or you just, just get, or rather, it also will just help you get better coal. Like,
Yeah.
The stuff they
Yeah, you just-
the stuff they had in the tender of 119 was, nice compared to what you guys had.
I mean, you were looking at the shitty, like, rock load of blech.
Yeah.
Usually our coal's good. That's what I mean, though. They're right on the edge of the vein that they've been mining for the longest time.
hmm
So they're getting a lot of rock, a lot of impurity, a lot of crushed stuff, and a lot of slack.
That sucks. Well,
Yeah.
I hope you guys can get some good coal. So you guys made Reddit the other day, and I was like,
did.
that's I was like, hey, 491, and then I watched it to check if you were in it, and I was like, no, he's not in it. Damn.
No, that was when Dusty was running. Paul was firing. I think I was off getting gas at that point.
So,
But the same guy uploaded a video to YouTube of 91 coming across the top, and I was running for that one.
oh really? Oh, I want to see that one because I want to show Madison. Because I
Real quick.
I was like, look, it's 491, and I was like, is this Weibo? No, never mind.
This is me running in this one.
Did those pictures send yet?
But also,
Yeah,
that was Dusty firing.
No, Dusty was
Oh,
running.
no.
Paul firing.
I was like, I think, I was trying to recognize people after meeting them once. I was like looking at the cab going, I think I know who that is.
Right.
Anyway.
Why? But that just reminded me something.
Uh,
I don't know why. So we do 1 hour trips, 30 minutes out, 30 minutes back. People keep asking, does this train go in a circle? And I'm like, where are we going to run? Why would we run it?
Is it going to
And then one time,
Is that
one
real
time
coal?
we went on a trip. We went on a trip out there, and they made fun of your railroad museum. And I'm just like, I can't say anything. This is
yeah,
just,
well. We have steam engines.
Hey, we'll have steam engines soon, Tim. Or steam.
Will you have 3?
We have one, and the other one, the boiler is
I
shot.
don't know.
But, if I win the $1 billion, I might buy it.
I mean-
Well, who knows?
Point for Kavan, though, he has FL9s. Subtract that point because they're going to be awful.
Hey, I don't know what they're doing. They started painting them, or they painted that one.
Oh, they're the rest of the pictures.
Wait, what do you
are
mean? What do you mean they painted
They
that one?
painted. Okay, like if you look at that picture, they took the New Haven off of it. I don't know
off of
what
the
they're
front.
doing.
Why?
Yeah,
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Tax job.
Especially considering the New Haven's on the side still.
Yeah,
But,
a very big NH on the side.
meh.
And then,
Give me
well,
a
and
camera,
then
okay.
also, I think they got rid of the actual New Haven markers. They just graffitied it.
Also,
They got.
That happens.
Granite Arc 10's adorable. Anyway.
Good
Granite Rock 10 is precious.
Yes.
But when we were there, I don't really know what happened. They were backing down onto some cars, but then they couldn't move said cars.
Oh boy.
And
Bricks.
yeah, I don't know, like the brakes were stuck on them or something. But so they tried to pull it back, and she can't go. So they keep putting a little more power, and then she slips, and it was boom, boom, boom. And it scared the hell out of me because you could see how close I was right there in the last picture.
Yep.
And I was standing like right there when it happened, and I was like, "Oh Lord!" My brother was like, "What the hell just happened?" I was like, "Yeah, it's wheel slip." And then it had been some time since they had done anything, and so they.
Oh, did you get Dalmatianed?
No.
Oh no. Okay.
Wait, what is Dalmatian?
Dalmatian is when it sort of goes "Pah," and rains down a whole bunch of sooty
when it
raindrops on you.
spits.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no! She didn't spit on us.
Oh,
Okay.
that was nice of her.
But yeah, no. But they forgot to flip a switch, and so
Oh no.
they start going down the wrong track, and the guy running it was like, "Where are you going? What are you doing?"
You're not on the road.
Dude, like he was getting mad at the crew because it was like mistake
down the
after
wrong
mistake, and I was like, but they had to get this whole consist ready to go in under an hour, and so they were under quite a bit of pressure, and there were, of course, there was a lot of people watching, and so they was just, I guess they were stressed out or something, but.
Switching with people watching sucks.
Yeah.
Just-
I know
just
UP
that
had
there.
a whole bunch of people doing that with the big boy when they had the turnaround 844.
Ugh.
Probably the worst sentence for people at Union Station was UP 414 back up 120 cars. Because it didn't actually go to Union Station on that first day. It backed up 120 some odd cars, and they turned around 844.
But
they had to turn the suckers around. I forgot. I didn't even think about that.
It had been years since I had seen this locomotive run, and so not only was it heartwarming for me, it was great to see her running again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And she may be small, but she sounds beefy, dude.
Tiny but mighty.
Really though, like she was chugging off down the tracks, and I'm like, damn, she sounds powerful right there.
Well, because they need to use maximum chunk to move all that.
Probably.
The big boy is
On
like...
the note of tiny.
Oh.
Yeah. Grenner Arcten's like,
Also, the big boy is
Has
like...
a shotgun exhaust
The big
on it,
boy's
it's just
drooling.
bah, bah.
on the note of tiny but mighty, and I'll touch a little bit more on this later on. RGS 20, when they were doing test runs the other day, they were using that little Davenport switcher Plymouth type deal that they have as brakes. As they set the brakes on that thing and had 20 tried to push it, and she broke the drawbar pin connecting.
Oops.
So somebody went up on 20's pilot and chalked small boy on it.
Small
Or little-
boy.
I think it was small boy or little boy or something like that. I think it was small boy.
Small.
Small boy.
Anyway, all right. Is there anything else that we've done in the Locoverse, or in the Locoverse, in the real world with train
this
stuff?
morning, this morning,
Versus.
on the way to breakfast, I drove, past the rail yard, and there was locomotives from everywhere. There was a Ferromex SD70, there was a CP engine, so I'm like, there's all kinds. There was like a CSX locomotive, and I don't know, there was foreign power from everywhere this morning, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Interesting.
Everywhere.
All in Roseville.
Everywhere.
And I'm like, apparently there's this Canadian Pacific has a train that runs down to Fresno, California. And I'm like,
Why would they
Canadian Pacific has some weird extensions.
it's so far out of Canada.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, sure, but it comes through Roseville at maybe 2, 3 in the morning. And sometimes they stop here. I don't know.
Oh god, I got the hiccups.
Oh my god, that reminds me. just driving around and being at work, I've seen like 5 heritage/special units. It's
Heritage unit.
Oh my
I
god!
haven't anything like I haven't seen
I was literally driving on the freeway to go get my car inspected, and I'm like, oh hey, look, a shadow bonnet. And then one of my coworkers, we were at work, and he's like, oh my god, it's the Mobac unit. I'm like,
Shadow
Lord.
bonnet.
It's been fun. Also, it's fun to see like filmers. Since I work on a train, seeing filmers on the train just film out to that stuff. Like, oh my god, please sit down. I don't need
Please
this.
sit
stress
down.
right
Sit down for what?
Alright, anyway. Very briefly, I did some shoreline stuff on Tolbrin, and I also had a really long stream where I did AI work. It was like the whole day, because I was working from home, so I just let simulations run, and I like chimed in once every couple of hours to edit things and then let it go again. Yeah, I also played with my spreadsheets for the first time in a while. Anyway.
Have you pulled up 2019 yet? I can't remember.
No, I have not.
Are you-
I haven't installed it.
Okay.
I haven't bothered.
Yeah.
Sooner or later. Anyway. So if that's all, I think it's time for... Yeah, real locomotive versus. Alright, in one corner, let me get a good picture of it, because there aren't really many good pictures of it. In one corner, we have the Chesapeake and Ohio, number 377, which is an adorable little 10-wheeler that currently resides in Baltimore. And in the other corner, we have Texas and Pacific, 316. If somebody wants to get a picture of that for Kavan, that'd be great.
Yep.
I got it.
Here's a picture of 316. Or 377, sorry.
Ooh.
It's so cute.
377's adorable.
Their mouth is excuse me.
Wait, I'll let you put it in the...
Oh, whoops, wrong chat. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it in there.
Damn
I'll
it.
also put it in here.
I
Which one is better? This one's better. One of them's better. This one.
Oh, I need...
Greenish.
green.
Excuse me.
Negative points for green. Just kidding.
Both of them are...
Meanwhile, yeah.
What? This is not green at all!
What color is that then?
It's blue!
That's even worse!
It's a light blue. It's nice.
Yeah, but it gets dirty.
Yeah. Also, my link is broken. Give me a second. I meant to fix it, and then I didn't fix it. No, don't add a bookmark.
Troubling.
Chesapeake,
Troubles.
Ohio. Okay. So, who do you guys want to go first?
316.
316? Okay.
I
Go in numerical order.
Numerical order. Okay, 316. Kevon, come at me.
Alright. Thinking. Local base ID. Let's start
Great,
on
awesome. Yeah, let's start there. Because mine's great. I'll just, that's, yeah.
Yep.
7,856.
Okay, 1 second. I gotta make sure I get the right one.
Mine is the F11 for those of you following along at home.
Wait, what was your... Okay, mine is 5,000, or 8,505.
Yes! 7856. I am better marginally. We both have absurdly high numbers. Why did you start with that?
Because I thought it would be low.
Okay.
I read the wrong one.
All
There's D1 through 11, and I read the wrong one.
These are actually very similar looking engines.
Yeah, they are.
What? How many were built?
They're both
66.
Baldwin, aren't they? They look like
66?
Baldwin.
Oh
Yes.
boy.
Holy cow! 13 here.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'll take that, I guess.
Yep.
I guess a numbering class.
Also 13.
Also 66.
Okay. Kevon knows how to play the game.
Yeah.
I lost the game.
I lost the game.
Alright,
Alright, anyway.
okay, let's... Thinking similar engines, but I don't want to do that one. That's terrible.
No?
Okay, I'll do engine weight.
Engine weight. Alright, this is the determiner as to whether I am a nimble boy or not. Engine weight. Engine weight is 143,500 pounds.
158,000.
Yes! Less thick. Let me look real quick at this.
Less thick.
Less thick. Weight on drivers.
Weight on drivers. 122,000.
377 is
115,000.
pretty.
I'll take that. I'm looking at these. I'm looking at certain things, and I'm not sure if I'm going to win that. So I think I'll just sort of move along. Minimum weight of rail. It's a weight thing.
There is 68.
68. 64.
Hey, that's a full stack.
Hey, it is! Man, I've been playing a lot of Minecraft. Ooh, that's bad. Not doing that. These look the same. God, these engines are... Like, they're similar enough that I'm really hesitant on a lot of things. Ooh. Firebox area?
Firebox area, 192 square feet.
Damn it, 188.
Okay, good. Okay, evaporating heating surface.
Evaporative heating surface is 2,352 square feet.
Oh my god, 2,082.
Oh man. Okay, then combined heating surface.
2,082.
2,352. What do you know? We're both not superheated because we're old as hell.
Yeah. Old boys.
Evaporative heating surface divided by cylinder volume.
220.
275.66. Awesome. I will take that. And that means... does that mean that? No, it doesn't. Why the hell? Did you guys hear that?
What?
Hear what?
Good. Never mind.
Oh no.
Alright, fine. Tender water capacity.
Gallons?
Tender water capacity. 6,500.
Oh no,
6,500.
Graham is texting me.
7,000. 7,000. I will take it. And I also want... I can't do tender fuel capacity because reasons.
Yeah, of course.
But I can do tender loaded weight.
122,000.
What? 136,310.
Hot Trish.
How are you lighter? Oil's dense as
probably
hell.
for the fuel capacity?
Oil's dense.
Okay.
I can't believe
guess,
you've done
I'll
this.
walk. Yeah.
Total engine and tender weight.
Okay, that's a close one. 279,810 pounds.
Are you kidding me? 280,000.
Yes! I knew it was going to be close. I knew it. Okay, we're going to have to get into the hard stuff, the stuff that I'm concerned about. But I'm not going to do that one. I'm not going to do that one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do either of those. Actually, let me look at these real quick. Yep, definitely not doing that.
Yeah, no, I might have to do some of those for you.
Nope.
Yeah.
I actually wasn't talking about the hard ones yet. What's your... Oh man, this is just going to turn it over. What's your boiler pressure?
Boiler pressure. 200.
I knew it. 180. Damn it.
Tractive effort.
Oh boy, this is the one I wanted to do. Tractive effort, 23,162 pounds.
28,000.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. This is
Factor of adhesion.
bad. 4.97.
Oh my god!
Ouch.
4.35.
Yeah, I saw that one. I went, nuh-uh.
Okay, Robert's, let me see your power computation.
I'm so glad somebody did, so I didn't have to. 4482.
Oh my god. 7,000.
7,000 even?
Yes.
Wow, damn, son. Okay.
Same as above plus superheating percentage.
Alright. I'll just give you the point.
Same as above, but substitute firebox area for gray
I
area.
didn't do firebox area. 33,840.
38,400.
I thought I had a chance.
Power L1.
Power L1 is 7177.
Oh, 6757.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Ooh. Wait a minute. No, there's no way. No, there's no way. I'm looking at these guys. There's no way. You know what?
Just take it. Run with it.
Well, there's the thing that I should do next, and then there's the thing that I want to do next. The thing that I want to do next is driver diameter.
I've been holding off on that, honestly.
Why?
It's gonna be close.
Because they're,
Go on.
Wait, so are we
Yeah,
doing
what
that?
is it?
Hold on.
Why are you having to type things in?
Because it's not popping up. Hold on. One
Your
moment.
Steam locomotive page doesn't have driver diameter?
Oh, it does. It's just in the, okay, there it is.
Did you using Control F to find this?
Yes, because everything's out of order on this page.
Why?
How did you break Steam locomotive?
63.
62, damn it!
Way to be that guy.
I had an awful feeling, but I just had to check because Power L1 generally goes to an engine with smaller drivers, and I was like, "There's no way he's got smaller, that is that way." I thought my drivers were so much bigger, but
Larg.
anyway, come on.
I guess we'll do high pressure cylinders.
I think are these going to be the same? I bet they're going to be the same. My cylinders are 19 by 26.
20 by 26.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Oh, damn.
Yes.
Come on, go to the style points. Quit while you're ahead.
Oh, man, I could have done
okay.
that 2 points ago before I gave it away.
Let's see. Driver wheelbase.
Driver wheelbase. Driver wheelbase. 14.08 feet.
12.75 feet.
Yeah, I knew. That's the one I looked at and went, no way. Because your drivers are really close together and mine are not.
Yeah, I saw that recently. Engine wheelbase.
Also bad because my tender is bigger than yours. 24.25 feet.
23.42 feet.
That's closer than I thought.
Your tender is not actually that much bigger. If anything, I'd say it's smaller.
Yours look, it looks smaller to me, but it might just be the angle of the photo.
It would
Ratio of driving wheelbase to overall engine wheelbase.
0.58.
0.54.
Yes! I get
All
something.
wins.
I get something back. Alright, Power MT.
Are we still going?
My Power MT.
Because I want to know.
The smallest out of all the D class, which is sad and pathetic. 366.
412. Because I wanted to do that because I knew I would win it. I remember I said there's the one I should do next and the one that I want to do next? That was the one that I should have done. And I know that.
The D7 is 420.
Great.
Nice, blaze it. Is there one more thing that I want to do? I don't know. I think we've covered pretty much everything. Actually, there is one more thing that I want to do. What year were you built?
I was avoiding this like going to work. 1900.
1902! I was avoiding it too because I was like, oh, it's going to be like 1904 or something. I'm going to get screwed. And that's probably the same. Yeah, that is the same.
Yep.
I think, actually, No, you know what? I know that's the same, so never mind. Yeah, I think we're good here. Let's go to style points. What are we, 13-13? 13-14.
13-14.
13-14. All right. Well, I'm not going to win in style points, I'll tell you that much. But, you know.
Yeah,
These engines are almost the same.
Yeah. I mean, do I get a point for just being pretty with the little stars on my
Yeah, that's what I was
cylinders?
thinking too.
That's the one thing I can think of. That and I mean, just like the colors of the
White
engine.
walls. You have white
I love it.
walls.
I do have white
Points
walls.
for pasties.
For pasties.
316
Well, I
is a
know what this
power
podcast is called.
Yeah.
Hooray, demonic.
316 is a power reverse, and it also has a steel pilot beam.
Yeah, I noticed
Does
the
it-
power reverse, and I went, why does he get that?
Yeah. Well, 316 looks thoroughly more modern
Yeah.
than
It's been upgraded.
than the 377.
Even if I'm
But-
older.
But other than that, you've got the same Stevenson valve gear engine. You've both got slide valves. You've both got alligator crossheads, box end rods, side-mounted check valves. They're very, very similar engines.
Yeah.
Who? I feel like these are both Baldwin locomotives.
Yeah, that's why I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, these are... I mean, it's Burnham, Williams, and Co. For me.
It is.
Don't forget Perry. Perry's in there. too.
Sorry, Burnham, Perry, Williams, whatever. Nobody cares about Perry.
There's no love for Perry.
Mine just says various.
Wow, just
Various?
Perry in particular,
Yes.
right?
Perry.
I should have done that. Damn it, I should have done that. I would have won.
No. On the number break, it says Cook.
Oh, well, yeah, I could have guessed. I could have looked for 316, but we were looking at class. Oh.
No, we're past that.
Did we already count 316 as being operational?
No, we didn't. I was not going to mention that.
Yeah.
However, is there another 316 class that survives, or another one of that class?
I am the only one.
And I
one of
am
two-
I'm better in percentage. Yay, cheeky point. What else? Man, I noticed something really silly, and I'm not going to bring it up now, because it doesn't benefit me. I just, I'm just noticing it.
What?
I'm not going to say it. I'll bring it up when we're done, unless somebody else happens to
I will
notice.
say, what is up with my whistle? Why is it sticking out like that?
It's hanging way out of this, way off the side.
They do that.
Also, Ellis, where's your bell?
I think it's behind the steam dome.
Yeah, it is. I
Yeah,
can
it's
see
like right in front of the cab.
Point for the bell cord being shorter? I don't know.
No.
No? Oh. Okay.
Okay, apparently it's the only operable surviving TMP engine.
Yes.
This is not the only surviving C&O engine.
And it's not operable.
What? Why
Are
both...
we not counting 610?
610 doesn't operate anymore. It literally can't operate. It's too big.
316 doesn't operate anymore. And what do you mean it's too big? They just ran a big boy.
316
Yeah,
is down
It
for
can't
me.
operate anymore. It's too big. No. It's
No,
wrong.
literally, it's Texas State Railroad is too big.
That
Run on
doesn't
the
mean it
railroad.
can't operate. The reason for it being inoperable is circumstance. It's not because it's too big. We literally just saw a big boy.
That's true.
It's not too big.
That's the reason. It can't run
Well,
on the
that's
railroad
fine.
that owns it.
Okay, that's...
That's fine. But it's not too big. God, these
316
engines-
pulled out
too
610
thick.
for special events.
It's too thick. It can't do it. If you throw a fire in it, it like implodes on itself.
It rolls out
It
of the shop and
passes.
goes crunch.
Yeah.
I smushed
goes
the track.
beyond-
Yeah.
What's the point defined as? It's the same thing for the computers. It's the God damn it. The point where it becomes a black hole.
The singularity. Or,
The singularity thing.
Sorry, no, it's critical mass is what actually no, that's
crit-
nuclear. That's nuclear fission is critical mass.
Yeah, I thought it was the singularity.
Well, the
It hits the
singularity is like the actual
the
point.
computer thing. Right.
Gotta get a point for red cab roof.
I don't.
think
Yeah, you got a
yeah.
point for white walls, Ellis. I think. I think
That's
a red
fair. That's
cap.
fair. I can have a point for red cabber. Can I have a point
Also,
for...
I love that your dynamo, just the end of the exhaust, is also painted red to match your
to match
cab
the
roof.
cab roof?
Do
Because
you guys
I
have
guess
comfy seats?
Do we... I don't know.
They're probably it's too old for that, honestly.
Maybe.
I don't
No,
know.
I mean, train lines... yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh wait.
I don't think we could confirm one way or the other, so I'm not going to worry
Do
about that one.
they even soup?
The even soup. Well, the, Oh, you know what? I've got an extra window. I've got a little slit window so you can see over the boiler.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, what is that?
It's an extra vision window.
I have a door.
You have to stand on
We
your
both
tippy
have
toes to
doors.
see it.
You do have a door in the front?
Yes.
I mean, yeah. In fairness, those windows are more for light than anything.
Yeah, it's
You
still
you
open.
can't see out of them really.
You have to stand on your
Yeah.
tippy toes
Oh,
or like jump.
you'd be able to see out of them.
I wouldn't though, because I'm thinking about how that window would look if 91 had them. You can't really see up and over the wrapper light. Like you'd have to be 8 feet tall to see out of them.
You know, give you a step stool. You're
Or like standing against the side up on the elevated bit where the seats are and leaning way over, at which point just look out the door.
Yeah, I mean that's fair,
Yeah.
but I have another window.
How many railroads have you run on?
At least 2.
Yeah.
I have nothing.
Do you run on?
What?
Like 2?
Okay.
Okay.
I thought
wasn't
for a
gonna
second
say
you were
anything.
gonna. I thought for a second you were gonna say 1, and I was gonna get kind of confused because why would you bring it up? If you're
Actually,
going to run on 1?
technically 3 at least during their service life. They were bought by the CR&M, then they were reorganized into the Cincinnati, the Tongue Twister in Louisville, and then they were taken over by the CNO.
Well, then that makes 3 for me.
Okay, so we both have 3.
Mopac. Yeah.
Okay.
So we've accomplished nothing.
Awesome.
Yes, we've
Great.
accomplished something.
Awesome.
I think they're both
mean-
similar. They're both so similar. Like
They are really similar.
there's
Very
not much.
difficult.
There's not much to go off of.
Yep.
377. I don't know why it's missing it as of late, but it apparently had what I can only describe as an extra cock ring.
What now?
What?
Why is that the only way to describe it, first of all? Second of all, what are you talking about?
Are you looking at the like second layer of like the steam dome where it's like thicker at the end?
No.
It's thick.
Also, it has really stripy spokes in this picture, and I like it. It's painted like a Penzi engine.
Also,
Look at the stack.
no, it's got ray gun lines. You know.
Yeah,
1950s
exactly.
ray gun. Also, I'm not sure if this is going to backfire on bringing it up, but point for having a unusual headlight. This
No.
box
How's
headlight
that
thing.
unusual? That's not unusual at all.
I mean, it is. It's
Yeah,
a normal
it is,
headlight
dude.
disguised as a box headlight.
Eh,
That's even worse.
I know.
it's
That's why I
also
said.
just horrible. I mean,
It has a
I mean,
block on the top.
there were electric box headlights as well.
Yeah.
It's worth noting. They just weren't very common.
Question: what
Also-
kind of
Oh,
What the hell?
air compressors do you have? That's what
I
was
have
gonna
2 single stage.
okay. Crazy idea for a style point. In the picture Weibold posted, when 377 is by 4021 in the background, it has a different plow or cow catcher on the front than it does in
Yeah,
the
it's
other.
it's been changed. Hey, also it's got some weird styling actually, and it's got 2 extra windows on that side.
Yeet! Style points for
The
extra.
round thing?
Is
Dude, it
that
has
a
like a
window?
porthole.
It looks
I
like a
don't
know.
porthole.
the window.
The round thing is not a window.
Okay.
It's
What the
a series
hell
of
is with
2.
your crosshead?
What?
On the picture that I posted.
Yeah.
What is up with your crosshead?
What's the
I don't know what's up
crosshead?
with it.
Strange.
What is?
Because the one it has on the other side appears to match 316. I'm trying to find a picture to
Oh,
confirm this.
Yeah, can you clarify for TBA and anyone else that might not know what a crosshead is?
Yeah, hang on, sorry. I'm just
I
trying to
definitely
find
know what that is that you're
thing.
saying, that you're talking about.
Uh-huh. Well, now I'm trying to figure out if you have it mismatched for each side.
I think they might have
Which-
just stylized it. I don't know. I don't think it's mismatched.
Yeah, no, that's
Oh,
no.
It's...
That's not stylization. The crosshead
It's
is the bit that is on the rear of the cylinder that goes back and forth, where
Yes.
the main rod is actually pinned.
It's mismatched.
It's the thing that slides back and forth.
It's mismatched.
Oh, they're like
It's different on each side.
It's different. Your engineer's side one, well, the one on your fireman side looks proper, and it matches the one on 316. It's the same style. It's an alligator style. The one on the engineer's side looks as though it probably broke, and they made one out of plate.
yeah, it looks just like a solid piece of plate or.
I mean,
sheet
I think it
metal.
looks
Yeah.
cool, but...
I don't think it looks bad. It's just interesting that that's a thing.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you
Also,
wear the
something
wrong
has
kind of.
way more reservoir space.
It has mismatched socks.
Yeah.
Also, you do have a power reverse.
I was about to say, isn't that a power reverse there?
It is. What,
Right by the
backwards
guy's
for-
head.
It's mounted the
Yeah.
wrong way
Yeah.
around, but it's a power
But-
reverse.
Kavan should keep the point, though, for air reservoir space.
Yeah, no, I gave the air reservoir point to him and then took it away. What do you have for air compressors, Kavan?
Same
Same
as
as
you.
you?
Just
Oh, okay,
stage.
okay. Just making sure.
Mm.
Also, look
Like
at
I-
those
like I said,
pipes
the
right next to the
On which
compressors on
which engine?
316. On the latest photo I just posted.
Hang on. The ones that snake back and forth?
Yeah. I was
It's
just
the
wondering.
condensing line.
Okay.
Is that the?
Oh, wide
So your
bulb.
gangway is a mile.
What?
is?
Oh,
What?
Chikuru, my, oh my, it's a
Uh-oh.
demon samurai. Hang on. Carry on, TBA.
Okay, so on the picture of 370, the black and white image of 377, the pipe. What is that thing that's right above the walkway where it like lifts up? It looks like a valve or like a. I don't know what that
They
is.
both have that.
Thing right above the walkway.
The pipe that runs
Uh,
along the boiler, and
The pipe that runs along the boiler and down to like
they both have
the
it.
walk.
That's the check valve. That's where water from the injector actually goes into the boiler. They've both got side-mounted
Yeah.
checks. The point would be if one of them had it on top, like they did in later days, because then it doesn't gum up and fill with crap.
That's nice.
Something
Okay.
for 377 that I just realized on the note of 316's gangway is a mile long. I was going to say the fireman has to run a half marathon to go back and get coal, but then I realized 316 has a deckless cab.
Does it?
It does. Look at the picture that Kavan posted last where you can see the fireman side of 316.
Oh yeah. There's no
You can't-
room in there.
You can't see through it. So that's a point for
Does
377.
377
It
not
does
have a deckless cab?
Does not.
Really?
I found a picture and you can see through the cab.
Oh yeah, I see the picture. You can in fact see through the cab.
I also have bigger windows than you. That was a giant window. Why is
Yeah,
that window so
that's a
big?
big window on 316 right there.
I previously had
That
more
boat.
windows.
That is a nice boat. Well, if you have more smaller windows, though.
No, I mean there was a window that matches that front one on 316, and I don't know what happened to it. It looks like it was covered over with a piece of metal.
I just want to point out in the very last picture Kavan posted, 316's bell is inverted.
Ding,
Yes, it is.
ding.
Anybody notice that?
That's your party popper.
It points at
2016
South
defines
Brilliant,
gravity.
though.
Engines have weird positions like that where, for whatever reason, their bells will get stuck. For 91, it's like at a 45-degree angle pointed up. We joke and call it our blunderbuss. It
Bang.
has like this little cannon type thing that just points slightly forward.
All right, so hold on. Do I get a style point for being sort of dolled up with this weird other cowcatcher and cock ring?
I'd classify it as the same style point as the pasties.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Because
I think
we're
because they appear to be part of the same paint job. They kind of hoard the engine up, and then when they dehoard it, they just didn't take the stars off the cylinders.
yeah, that's fair. All right. Well, is there any other thing?
I think I have one more style
no.
point.
Okay.
Have you pulled the Polar Express?
First of all, why is that a style point?
It has been previously.
Has it
Another-
been? Oh
Yeah.
God!
Yeah, it has.
Why
Another
though?
pitch. I have another pitch for a style point
Oh,
for
no.
377.
Oh boy.
Can it get one for being white? Because when do you ever see a white?
What?
It's not white. It's,
What's
it's
wrong
blue.
with white?
What the hell?
Also-
No, when do you ever see a white?
Fight,
steam
fight,
boat?
fight.
Sky
Yes, second of all, it's not white.
Style point.
the fu-
Mike
the fu-
Locomotive
Hey.
says cleaner. Because his
A, racist. B, it's not white.
Then what is it?
sky blue.
It's sky
like
blue.
bluish green. It's green that's been faded
No,
to
it's
shit.
not. It is blue.
No,
No, it's blue.
377.
Bible is blue.
Is it blue?
It is
Okay,
blue.
well,
It was
Then why
originally
aren't you
blue.
saying it's not blue?
Who's saying it's
What
not
the
blue?
hell?
Both of you.
No,
You
I'm-
and Kevon both said it's not blue.
When did I ever say that?
Blue.
Oh,
I said it's blue, and two people said no, it's not blue. It's like
No.
okay, it's green. It's faded. No, it's
No,
blue.
I never.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus.
I haven't been attesting it's blue the whole time. I own a Well, Madison owns a model of this.
In the last
Turn on
50
Washington.
the last
Okay, I-
377 is like olive
Make a
drab.
white turn on Rio Grande Avenue. Get
Take
the
a left
fuck out
turn
of
on
here.
Washington. What do you mean take a left turn on Washington?
I'm
We're ye
sorry,
holding it
I'm-
upside down.
I didn't
You
mean
can't
to
turn
start
left here. What do
this.
you mean I can't turn left?
All right, so we'll establish that
Anyways.
this engine is in fact blue.
It looks
Sure.
Makes
It
is!
like leaning.
I would not say that's a style point, though.
No, I wouldn't say
Maybe
it's a
if
style point
316
either.
was black, but 316 is green.
Yeah, no, they're both colorful. That's
Yeah.
okay.
316 should get a point, though, for Polar Express.
Okay.
Again, it's been a point
I
historically.
guess. But why is that a point?
It's kind of a
Milky
posterity.
and
That's
or
neat.
TBA, do you agree with him on this?
I agree with him.
All right, fine.
100%.
All right. That's the way things happen, I guess. Okay, I guess we're done here.
Okay.
I wish I had asked the point about builder, because then it would be 19 to 19 instead of 18 to 19.
Well, no, because my builder's on the builder's plate, so I could have just said that.
When were you guys
Yeah, but
taking
doesn't
out
it
of
say
service?
cook?
Mine says what it says on the
Who? Yeah, that's a good one.
Didn't Milky say it said cook?
Yes.
Yeah, on the number plate.
Yeah.
Who was in service longer?
And to piggyback off of that, when were you guys taken out of service?
Oh goodness. So 1902 to I don't know when this engine would have been retired. Let me see.
Oh,
You can probably look it up on the B&O's website.
Okay.
Are you fucking kidding me?
What?
What?
I just got a text from the boss.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I have not confirmed whether or not this is serious, but this could be breaking news. Apparently, Strasbourg threw one of 20's pistons through the head.
Oh no!
Damn it.
Oh,
Big oof. Well, so much for thing.
20? Wait, the 20.
Yes, R20.
Money
Yeah.
fucking whore.
Why?
Fucking
What is it with
locomotive.
narrow gauge engines and pistons lately?
I mean, 18 was another kettle of fish. How did they?
I don't know how you do that. First of all. Second of all,
How? It wasn't even running. Like what? What do you mean you threw a piston through? You put a piston through the head? What?
also 1902 to 1952. That's a service life of exactly 50 years.
Like
Okay, mine lasted even longer.
Why is there hesitation in that?
I'm trying because. Hold on, I just had it. It was sold in 19. Hold on.
1951, that's basically when it was retired.
Yeah, 1951.
Kebab was in service.
So it's
longer.
1 and 1, but
Wait, yeah,
yeah. So it's
51 years.
1 and 1. So whoops, I just gave you 2 points for that for some reason. Even 50 years, although, yeah. So around the same time, I'm just reading this about it, right? The city of Logan, West Virginia, issued a request to the CNO asking for use of a vintage train which might have resembled the one that had arrived in 1904 with completion of the branch. They aged the 377 by installing an oil headlight, flange stack, cylinder head stars, a wooden pilot, and an old-style paint scheme.
Dr.
So the
Evil
railroad didn't even do that.
aged.
Yeah.
Hey.
And they took an ex-Hawking Valley combine for use as a display train. So, 377 was the goodwill ambassador for the CNO. And, oh, wait, what? It didn't get retired. It wasn't put on display. They used it. I don't know how long they used it for. It doesn't say. But it was after the completion of its restoration, a brief stint in service. Doesn't say how long. The 377 was relocated to the B&O Museum in 1971.
Beam.
I don't know if there's good information on that. If it served one more year, I would be tying Gavon.
Damn.
But I'm not sure there's a way to tell exactly.
Under the CNO, it ran for another year.
Technically, yes. They used it as like here, look at this old style train we have.
I mean, I'd say that's a fair bet
again,
because
It ran on a tourist railroad in Ohio.
No. This was
that wouldn't
this
count.
was before that.
I mean, I'm almost willing to count it simply because A, that's really cool and it kind of deserves recognition in one form or another. And B, at the end of its life, they weren't using 316 very much. Engines of that size pretty much were relegated to switching and branch line service and ran just a couple times a year in the later days.
Okay, last idea, but can 377 get a style point for cab window shades?
Whoops.
Do they both have
316.
shades?
No, 316 doesn't have any.
Oh, then sure.
You have shades. Oh, he does have shades.
They're the flip down shades.
Oh. Yeah, sure, I'll take that. Well, but is being the goodwill ambassador enough for a point, whether or not it served long enough to surpass Kevon? Because I'm reading through this and it's pretty murky to me.
I think we've given that point for the engines that have done that.
We probably gave Penny that point at least once.
Yeah.
Better than anything.
Oh,
I think we've given Mark that point.
What?
Update.
Oh no.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
We interrupt this program.
Lord. Okay. Text from Dusty. Guess they were trying to find a whistling noise in the smoke box with her aired up. In the midst of that, they wanted to replace one of the crosshead keys because it wasn't wide enough. Topical, going back to the crosshead. The trouble with that, of course, is the only thing keeping the piston in place when you put steam to the cylinders is the fact that it is yoked to the wheels.
Oh no! Oh no!
So if you pull the key out and send pressure to the cylinders, which it sounds like while this was out, someone opened the throttle and the rod pulled out of the crosshead and sent the piston through the cylinder head. It broke it and two studs.
Oh my god!
Apparently they magnafluxed the piston and bore, and they are K. So not the end of the world, and they question the strength of the heads anyway, LOL.
Okay.
Okay, so a simple way to turn your pistons into missile launchers is to remove
if
the
you
crosshead.
take out the wrist pin, the gudgeon pin, the key that yokes the crosshead to, like, the gazetus to the rod, then, hang on, actually, look at where's that picture of it all hoard up that you have the goofy thing?
Yep.
Okay, look at the plate crosshead.
Yep.
The big nut on the side is called the wrist pin because it is the pin that acts as the wrist.
Okay.
In front of it, you see that little squarish looking thing that's like jutting out from it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a tapered key that holds the physical rod that connects the piston to the crosshead.
Okay.
And that they took out.
Okay.
Oh.
And then they put steam to the cylinders, and the piston head became a torpedo and launched out the front.
Oh, it went out the front. I was going to ask which way it went.
Wonder what it sounded like. Probably
Bang!
something scary.
It would have said, yeah.
Dang.
There's video of 18 doing something similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, during.
Or no, actually, the White Pass engine. There's a video of it throwing a piston through its cylinder head.
Ooh.
Jesus.
Can somebody get that video?
I want to see the video.
I can find it later.
All right.
Also, wow.
Fucking hell! This engine does not want to work, does it?
No.
That's why it's going to be out for blood when you finally get it.
Why would you let me die?
Yeah.
Kill me!
Also, I just realized
Oh.
I've been running with Texas State Railroad for almost 45 years. Like, holy crap.
Well,
What? Oh, yeah.
The
I was going to say, what?
You're approaching the point that the K-36s, I think, just passed a couple of years ago, where they've run longer in preservation than they ever did for the railroad.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. So, if that's that, if we're not adding any other points for anything, then it's just going to be 20 and 20.
I could add one point.
Oh, I
I do
didn't
have
add
two
I didn't add the point for being the goodwill ambassador for the C&O. So if you want to add one more, we can add one more.
I can add 2 points. Possibly.
Oh.
I'd say the
boy.
goodwill
Or we leave it
ambassadors-
tied. Let's leave it tied. They're the same
All
logo.
right, we'll
Let's
leave
just do
it tied.
Same look.
I've got it under my hat. I mean, technically we could get 2 more, but anyway, whatever. Let's wrap this up here. We'll call the points at 20-20. These engines are very similar and they're very evenly matched to boot. There are some stark differences though. The fact that they're not the same engine. They've got different wheel diameters. They've got different weights. They've got different lot of things. Everything's a little bit different, but they are very similar engines.
Oh. So
It's like when somebody copies your homework and you're like,
10-wheelers.
Yeah.
So hang on. The 10-wheelers broke even at 20, and the 10-wheeler just broke.
Yeah.
It broke even. Period.
In 2020, it's next year.
Yeah,
Wow.
Illuminati
Yeah.
confirmed. Wait.
Yeah.
Illuminati.
That's why we want to have it running. It sells itself, but oh god.
2020.
Strasbourg threw a cylinder through the head. God damn it!
That's funny.
Who did that?
Somebody getting fired.
All right, what are we doing for votes here?
What
What are we doing for votes here? Because we forgot to vote on.
316.
Okay, 316.
316.
77.
Yeah, I also vote for 77, even though I can't vote for it.
Oh.
I just think 77 looks better.
377 is
So I
super
just think
cute.
316 looks better.
Yeah.
77 is cute. I just like the look of 316.
316
more.
is
It
a
looks
sharp-looking
little bit
engine.
more- it looks a little bit more put together.
That I agree with. Although to be fair, 377 has gone through some tumultuous times in terms of being unput together.
I was gonna say, which is fair because 377 was hoarded up and then de-hoarded up, and that
Partially.
tends to leave engines looking even worse.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, all right. So there's that. We didn't do our votes on the 119 versus Jupiter last time, but yeah, we'll do that again once we get everybody together for the debrief.
Well, we didn't even really do that, but whatever.
We forgot. I remembered it when we were back at the hotel. I went, oh crap.
Oof.
Anyway.
Anyway. Alright, so we got a bunch of news this week. Lots of news. We were a little
Yes,
light
we
on
do.
news last time, and we sort of rushed through it. There's a couple really cool things that I want to talk about, though. And the first is that...
Oh.
And this is part... I'm reading the article about this, and part I have heard about this. But... the Providence and Worcester, G&W, is reactivating a bunch of track that's going to run through Middletown. I believe it's sort of a parallel line to other holdings by G&W, but that also happens to be the line that they're running pretty heavy-duty passenger service on right now, with the beginning of the Hartford line passenger service.
Right.
And my assumption is they're trying to get out of its way. So they're reactivating this secondary line. That's a Providence and Worcester owned line, and it has been quote-unquote active for, it was never deactivated, but a train hasn't run over it in decades. which I didn't actually know. They were doing road work in Middletown, and they had torn up a bunch of the tracks, and they were putting them back down again. And I was sort of like, wow, it's interesting that they can just do that. But the other thing that's interesting about it is it happens to connect to the north end of the Valley Railroad, which is dead right now because they're still working on building up that way, or rebuilding up that way.
And somebody built a driveway on it.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that they're not going that way right now, or that they're hesitant, or they're taking their sweet time. They have to clear up a bunch of dirt and make somebody build a bridge. But this means that there is going to be active freight service on the north end of Essex's track, which is really interesting to me. I had no idea that there were customers or the potential for customers up there. So, there's that. So yeah, there's track work going on in a couple of towns. I don't know, it's really cool. It's not too often you see that kind of reactivation, not these days. So, yeah, and there are some really interesting things going on in the area, and by interesting I mean kind of annoying, about like paper barriers and stuff like that, because the New England Central Railroad and CSX and the Providence and Worcester had a lot, and the other smaller freight carriers in the areas had a lot of agreements as to what they could and could not do. And now that, basically so they didn't cut into each other's territory, but now that the G&W owns both the New England Central and the Providence and Worcester, the paper barriers still exist on paper, so they have to do some really, really awkward stuff just because of the way that contracts were written back in the day that those were separate. Like, there are points where the Providence and Worcester and the New England Central share a yard. Remember that they are owned by the same company. They cannot interchange there. They are not allowed to hand cars from the New England Central to the Providence and Worcester in the yard that they share, while they are owned by the same company.
Co-own.
Yeah. Because of the agreement that was drawn up many moons ago.
Right. Many moons ago.
But who would check that? Like, who would check that? Just be like, oh, we picked up
Some
the car.
asshole.
Yeah.
If there's a buck in it for some asshole, somebody will bring it up.
But if we're talking about...
the yard's all connected, right?
Yes.
So you just pull in a train, you just don't, leave an engine, and then, at 3 a.m., you just take it with the other railroad, and bam, nobody knows.
But the people that run the railroads do know. Despite the fact that they are owned by the same company, there are still people in there with vested interests in their own, and doing this would, make things more efficient, but it would undercut the supply lines that the two railroads have established, I guess. I don't know, people would complain. There are definitely people that would take issue. And it's not like, the FRA guy going, hey, you broke that contract. It would be,
It's some government puke.
No, it's not even that, is what I mean. It's more than likely it would be someone in the management of one or both of the railroads going, well, you see, we can't do that because, because if you do that, then it'll undercut, blah, 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 blah. We have these agreements for a reason because we make money this way. Though, if we want to talk about rail expansion, particularly passenger rail expansion, also in Massachusetts, the Berkshire Eagle has put out an article about a pitch that just recently made its way into the legislature of Massachusetts to establish passenger rail from North Adams, which is on the west side of the Hoosick Tunnel, back to Boston. So along almost the entirety of the Boston and Maine Railroad in Massachusetts. The passenger service over that route was shelved in 1968. And it currently only has service as far as Fitchburg. TJ would know a lot about that. Actually, you can go one stop further and go to the ski resort. But
yep.
I really just I like the pitch because I want to be able to ride a train through the Hoosick Tunnel legally and without paying hundreds of dollars for a Amtrak special, full foliage special. But it's being pitched in a really good way. It isn't, we just want the train. It's, it has a historical precedent, which is something that a lot of people typically bring up. And they're bringing in that there's a lot of traffic. They're bringing up that there are a lot of people that could commute to Boston, even though it's a long way, or just be able to take the train to Boston in the first place. They're bringing up that, of course, trains are a more environmentally conscious method of transportation. And they're hitting it from all sides. It's a really good and well thought out. We need passenger rail because blank, and I think it's a really good It's a good thing to look at if you're looking at passenger rail for a certain corridor, especially if you're the one advocating for it. Look at this and hit all of these points. So, I mean, I'm just excited about it because I totally want to see. I just want to see a train run up there again. I want to see passenger rail run up there again. That's that. I'm souped about that. Anybody else? Can anybody piggyback off of that?
I have some stuff that I'm super souped about.
Oh, okay.
A few weeks ago, a few of our museum members went up to Snoqualmie, Washington, to go to the Northwest Railway Museum.
Mm-hmm.
To go inspect Portland Tracks 1058. And a direct quote I heard from someone that was there, is you could press your hand up against the car and it would probably fall apart.
Yep.
But we're not going after the car body. We're going after what's under it.
These wheels.
And apparently they were in decent condition from what we could tell. But we really have to assess them once we get them back to the museum, which we are going up there. And by we, I of course mean everyone else that could go up there besides me.
You're not going?
I got work one of the day.
Press F to pay respects.
And had I known about this last week, I would have taken the time off, for sure. But they didn't know quite how they were going to make it work. So they're going up the 30th, which is this Thursday, I guess. To start dismantling the body, and then they're basically going to work until Sunday to get down to the floor. Yeah.
They're just going to take it apart piece by piece so that they can get the trucks.
Yep.
Well, because I would assume they can't lift it up. It would
No.
It would be in a million pieces.
Yeah. It's already in a million pieces, but yeah, that's what they're gonna do, and yeah, they're gonna take a whole bunch of pictures while they're doing it because
that's cool.
Because that's what you do.
Well, yeah, it's if you have to dismantle something like that, you want a really good photo record of it because it's the last time you're gonna get the chance to.
Yep.
Rest in peace, 1058. I hope your parts go to a good cause.
Help another car run.
Yeah.
That's the way that.
Yeah. Speak of things running.
Yeah.
Not 20.
Not for a while. We'll get to that in a minute.
Crunch.
That fucking thing. Apparently, a French rail operator, I believe it's SNCF. Yeah, it is SNCF.
Is there another French operator?
I don't know. I was thinking it might have been like a charter company, because what they're doing is they're resurrecting the Orient Express. They've allegedly sunk around 12 million pounds sterling.
That's a lot of money.
Into restoring an original Orient Express train set. And they're considering relaunching the service, which is Paris to Istanbul.
Look at those glasses. So, that's why is that the thing that strikes me? The whole train set is gorgeous, but they have all these beautiful, wine glasses. It's like, welcome to extreme class.
Good lord.
It's
How are they going to... My question is, how are they going to stop murders on it?
They'll have to have the greatest detective in the world.
Okay, forgive me if I'm...
Do I give a disclaimer for spoiling Murder on the Orient Express?
But is this like the same Orient Express as the one that was drivable in Microsoft Train Simulator?
Yes.
More or less.
Dude, that was like my favorite thing to drive.
The Orient Express is a thing.
It's very
And
much
then
a
we have
thing.
the American Orient Express, or we did.
I mean, we saw a coach from that.
We have a blue flag
It
from.
is.
How can you tell us what the
It's
American
got
Orient
the
Express?
blue-
Because it says American Orient Express on it.
The blue
Oh, really? Oh.
Because it says American Orient Express.
I was like, damn, that's a really good job of like keeping track of these random pieces of. Oh, it says it on it. That kind of gives it away, doesn't it?
In fairness, we do have stuff like that that's like, oh yeah, that's from such and such and such and such, and you have to kind of know the history behind it. But yeah, the blue flag just says American Orient Express on it. But
Dude,
like,
now that I look at it, this thing's freaking weird.
cars, they've got nickel-plated, embossed numbers, and oh, it's just gorgeous.
It's
If they
so
reinstate
pretty.
the Orient Express, that's definitely something we need to do.
I mean, once we hit the lottery, I'm sure we'll be able to.
Well, because it's the Orient Express.
I
That's
know.
like, that's up there with the California Zephyr and the 20th Century Limited and the Flying Scotsman as
Yeah.
the most iconic trains in the world.
Speaking of the Flying Scotsman,
Oh God.
the Flying Scotsman's getting people in trouble, man. And the Flying Scotsman might be in trouble because of people,
I saw this.
because of foamers, because of
The man with the frumpiest look in the world.
because of foamers all over everything. Because every time the Flying Scotsman runs anywhere, people go crazy. People climb on bridges. People walk all over the tracks. People get in really
big
dangerous
boy.
spots, like the Big Boy, but apparently worse, because they're concerned. They're concerned to the point where they may be taking the Flying Scotsman, or they may be banning the Flying Scotsman from running on main lines.
Wow.
Yeah. Because people can't freaking control themselves, and they keep doing stupid things and trespassing.
See,
And
this sounds like the UP foamers. Or California UP.
Well,
I guess, but
UP
apparently this is
foamers,
worse.
yeah.
I don't know.
No, I don't think that's worse. No.
I mean, I don't know.
They stole a horn off a heritage unit.
Okay, that's different. I thought you meant like UP foamers walking. I thought you were talking about UP foamers walking all over, tracks and stuff. And it's like, yeah, we saw plenty of that, but like, for the most part, people were contained. Like, people didn't do too much crazy, stupid stuff while we were watching 4014, except for when we were driving away and there were all those people on the side of the highway, like standing all over the tracks.
Yeah.
That was something special, but.
Oh, yeah.
I suppose they knew that nothing was coming at that point because all the freight trains had been stopped and the Big Boy
Yeah.
was also stopped. So, I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, nobody's planning on banning 4014 from places, so based on the
Yeah.
consequences,
Yeah.
this seems to be worse. Holy cow, people, get a hold of yourselves. If we're talking about things we saw or things we didn't see back out
Oh,
in
no.
Utah then,
I just saw. Sorry for going. Oh no! I just saw you click on the link you're going to next
Yeah.
and sort of sighed.
yeah, so
Oh,
we were
boy.
going to go to Heber. And then we found out,
yeah.
oh no, there's a big charter. So let's not go because it's going to
With
be mobbed.
I believe it was the Southern Pacific Historical Society.
Yeah. And apparently that charter made it about 200 feet and then derailed. They didn't even leave the station. Allegedly, the last passenger car didn't even get off the platform. They derailed.
Ah.
The train was not able to be re-railed, and the excursion was annulled. First of all, how could it be that bad that you can't re-rail it?
I saw
It
a
was on
picture
the
of it
crossing.
at one point. Yeah, well, I mean, a crossing might actually make it easier depending on the
Yeah, that's
positioning.
true.
It
Oh, you
was
know about that.
significantly on the ground. The other one is, it varies from place to place, but in a lot of places it's frowned upon, if not like a big rules no-no, to rail equipment that is either A, running, or B, loaded with passengers.
Yeah, well, I can understand that.
So it may have just been a matter of, by the time we get it re-railed, get everybody off, re-rail the stupid thing, get everybody back on and go. The crew will be dead on the lawn. We don't have another crew.
Yeah.
Something might have been damaged.
Yeah.
If I recall, they had to relay a lot of the track.
Also,
It
I was going to
pretty
say the one thing that I could understand
bad.
is if they messed up the track, because you're not going to get be like, oh, track
who
crew,
was
go.
it that had the picture of it? Was it O'Gillies? Yeah.
Did he? He
Was
may have.
it Ogilvy? Somebody had a picture of the aftermath of it, and it was pretty bad.
Yeah, your mic's going funny again.
Is it? Why? I'm holding.
I don't know.
perfectly
It's
still.
It's
And
just
then-
sort of slowing down. It might be internet more than microphone.
Interesting. Yeah, my battery.
The
might
only
be
reason it happened because it was picked the derail switch.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Idiots.
Wow.
Well, did it pick it or did they leave it open?
No, it picked
Oh,
it
they-
because the
oh,
engine,
it
the
picked
front
it.
of
It
the
picked it.
engine went
Okay.
through, and then the back set.
Deja vu.
Right. So it's like the goose.
Yes.
Ooh.
Right.
So 4014 derailed twice, huh?
Yeah. What, did it derail twice?
Well,
no,
no.
I think it derailed once. It's,
Twice?
it stubbed its toe. There are
Once.
two articles on it. Who has them?
Where
It stubbed
the
its toe by rolling a rail over.
the two driving wheels fell off.
Yeah, it went crunch.
Okay, so so not only did they break it, but they also derailed it.
Right.
Welcome back, 4014.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Second big boards of the whale in history.
yeah. Derail? No. There's no way they didn't derail these things.
No.
In service.
We're the Union Pacific. We can't handle it, can you?
Yeah, it was the same spot. It was the same derailment. Holy cow, that's a pain in the neck. Trying to get
Yeah.
that thing back on, holy crap! I can't imagine how much effort that takes.
Yeah.
Well, and it derailed. It was the rear driver set too. And if it rolled the rail over, you're either going to have to run the forward engine over it, or the tender over it. Pick one.
Yeah. Are you gonna want to try to
You're
back it up?
sort of- Yeah, you either have to back it up and back the forward engine or the tender. You're SOL either way. Pick one.
You can't fix the rail with the engine on top of it.
Yeah.
So
When it inevitably derails as well, pick what you'd rather re-rail.
Yeah.
All the tender axles or the forward engine.
that's a lot of tender axles.
Yep.
That's a lot of axles up front, too.
Yeah.
Now you just need me to come out there and pick it up so
Yeah,
you can
right.
fix it.
Bruh, do you even lift?
No.
Oof.
Yes, maybe. I don't know. Does Steve count
Maybe.
as lifting?
Oh, you know what? Speaking of derailments, actually, it's not a bad time to mention this. So the NTSB has released their
Those guys.
report on the Amtrak derailment in 2017, the one that derailed off the bridge on the I-5 in Oregon.
The Cascade.
Yeah, the
accident.
Cascade accident.
Yep.
Primarily placing the blame on the engineer, of course, who lost track of where he was along the route. But they also place blame on Sound Transit for not, quote, sufficiently mitigating the danger of the sharp bend. Because if we recall, there was a proposal on the table to change the alignment so that there was a wider curve there.
Yeah.
And for not better training the engineer on the route before green lighting a passenger train. The chairman of the NTSB is quoted saying the engineer was set up to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they're releasing their final determination on what happened. Quote, there's somebody who was a frequent critic of Sound Transit. He goes, I'm appalled at the incompetence and a complete lack of accountability that created a chain of failure that day. The victims of this accident were let down by a careless system of bureaucracy that dropped the ball again and again. Which I think that's a little bit much, but
Yeah.
because certainly a lot of blame does lie on the engineer for not knowing the route, but at the same time, how much of it lies on Sound Transit for not making a good route and also not training the engineer on it.
Well, that falls more on the Amtrak too, the training part.
Also true.
Because apparently their training was rigorous. They had multiple people in the cab going off and on. It wasn't the best training.
Yeah.
It really wasn't.
Let's see.
Well, there were distractions present is
Yeah.
the big one.
Let's see. Because there's a lot of statement in here. They talk about the accident. The train was going 78 miles per hour when it rounded the curve with a 30 mile per hour limit. The engineer, quote, appeared to apply the brakes but did not put the brakes in emergency. He told federal officials he was aware of the sharp curve, but lost track of where the train was on the route. He had operated the locomotive 3 times on the track and observed the route another 7 to 10 times. He did not see the advance warning sign or the second speed limit warning. It was only 1 mile before the curve, and where he had intended to begin braking to slow down for the curve. Half a mile and 20 seconds before the curve, the train was going 82 miles an hour. An alarm sounded in the locomotive's cab. Amtrak had not trained the engineer on that system. So, an alarm sounded in the cab, and the lights on 2 screens of the control panel began flashing. The engineer was not trained on that system and did not know what the alarm meant. And by the time he figured it out, it was too late to properly brake.
Right.
Do you know what they need?
What?
They need those. You know how you're driving down the road and like the speed limit signs that tell you your speed, and if you're going too fast, they say slow down.
Yeah, need that.
They need those.
Yeah,
they need those.
Well, their PTC, I believe, is now fully installed and operational in segment of route, so you don't need so many flashing signs. Both the engineer and conductor were paying attention. They were not distracted. There was no fatigue, drugs, and alcohol did not play a role. In fact, the engineer paid for his own hotel in Seattle the night before to ensure he was well rested, although he and the conductor had never worked together before. The engineer was hired by Amtrak in 2004 and promoted to engineer in 2013. The conductor was hired in 2010.
Really?
Yeah. So...
Do you... I guess you do, huh? Okay.
And then there are a bunch of points about what they want to do, and it's a very long and very comprehensive article. So I do recommend reading it if you're interested. This was one of the articles that, when I saw it come up in the group for posting all these news links, I took it and I set it aside and went, I'm going to read this. And yesterday, while we were trying to see if we could do the podcast, I actually went through and I read the article, because I really wanted to know. It's one of those things that I had thought about a lot since the accident. And obviously it was, it was the talk of a lot of circles. So.
Yeah.
And on the topic of Amtrak...
Okay, fine.
Wow. No.
Fight!
Chicago news.
Fight me, Milky. Wrestle me. On the...
You can go off of you can go off of Amtrak to Talgos. So, TBA, what's up?
So we all know Amtrak always gets kicked around by freight traffic, and apparently it's now at the point that Amtrak has suspended service.
This is BS, for the record.
This is BS?
I mean, the article is true. The goings-on are total BS. I hate it.
I'm not savvy as to what's going on.
Sorry, continue, CBA. Sorry, I cut you off like that. I'm just saying that I hate this. The article is true, and I hate this.
Services on the Amtrak River Runner between Kansas City and St. Louis, and a portion of the Southwest Chief. Can the Southwest Chief get a break?
No,
hasn't it had
they can't.
Enough
they can't get an
recently?
effing break.
Somebody fucking hates the Southwest Chief for whatever reason.
But the Southwest Chief from Kansas City to Hutchinson, Kansas, have been suspended due to diverted freight traffic. In their place, Amtrak is using.
That is BS.
Diverted from
BS.
where? What is going on? Why is there so much freight traffic that Amtrak has to stop their trains?
Is there not a federal ordinance concerning how freight traffic is to yield to Amtrak at all times?
Oh, there is. It would just be great if somebody actually, enforced it.
I realize that nobody enforces it or pays attention to it, but is it not making it worse for Amtrak to say, hey, you guys need to not run freight traffic? The freight railroad would say pound sand, and Amtrak says, okay, well, we're canceling all this service. What? But no!
I feel like Amtrak should have the power to be what the H guys, we're supposed to have some priority, but then they just get kicked around like they're nothing. But
and then people complain that Amtrak is a failure.
Amtrak to freight railroad.
This whole debacle, Amtrak has always been just kicked around, and it's pretty unfair if you ask me. But so Amtrak is now using chartered buses to provide service along both of those routes, and
the other one is, do you want to know what this is?
What?
This isn't just, the freight railroads are kicking around. Poor, woe is Amtrak. They can't help it. This is the management geniuses at Amtrak getting their way on the bus service.
That's also true.
After they got their dick slapped when they tried to cancel all the train service, they found an excuse, and this is their excuse.
Yeah, remember when we were worried about literally this scenario because they were going to do it like purposefully and continually?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Guess what?
And then
they're doing it.
Said, no, you will continue to run these trains. And then Amtrak was like, oh, but look, and it's the South Park banker just rubbing his nipples. Oh, I'm so sorry. Isn't it unfortunate that freight traffic is... Oh, no. We're going to have to use buses. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they...
Fucking people.
It's BS.
Yeah.
This happened on the Sunset...
Yes.
the Sunset route recently, a few months ago, where basically Amtrak had to run the Sunset once a week because of freight traffic or something
Because
like
of
that.
freight traffic or because of work? Because they
Because of work, sorry.
well that happens a lot, and that's understandable. Because if you're doing track work, you're doing track work. What are you going to do? But
because maintain track is better.
being like
track.
Oh, sorry, there are too many freight trains. You can't run the passenger train. It's like, no, the train must get through.
Saying that. That's not even the freight railroad saying that. That's Amtrak saying, "Oh, there's so much freight, we just can't do it."
Yeah.
This is the management at Amtrak getting their way with the buses.
Yep. Don't you just love how that works out?
If the people, and I'm going to make a statement here that I'm probably going to regret making publicly or sub-publicly, but if the higher-ups at Amtrak would remove their heads from their asses and do their fucking jobs, then maybe we could get some half-decent service going.
I mean...
Like, come on, guys.
It's just... It's not even the higher-ups at Amtrak, because I'm not sure how much changeover there's been since the last guy's tenure, but he was really passionate about doing right by Amtrak and doing and getting things done, and he did,
Mm-hmm.
Amtrak before Anderson made a lot of good steps, and now it's not. Spot the difference.
Mm-hmm.
But also,
but Anderson is a genius. He came from the airline industry. The airlines, the pinnacle of
airlines.
City.
Where it slightly rains and all flights are canceled with no refunds.
I mean, that's a different thing, but
with Delta Air.
I mean, when also, not just the airlines, specifically Delta Airlines.
Yeah.
He came from the airline industry.
He was the what was it? The CEO, wasn't he, of Delta?
CEO of Delta.
And he still gets those paychecks.
Yes.
For his retirement.
Wow.
His retirement.
He's a guy that knows nothing about railroads, does not care about railroads. Apparently, I'm beginning to think does not like railroads.
So why does he run one?
Has been saddled with what is essentially a passion project, or what has unfortunately become a passion project because nobody can make any legislative sense out of the goddamn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, speaking of legislative nonsense.
Hold on, we'll come back to the legislative nonsense. Milky, talk about the Talgos.
Okay, WashDOT is now looking to replace their Talgos.
Yep.
Like the ones that were in the DuPont crash, which I think the one in the crash was the Series 6 Talgo, which are the majority of them. The Series 8s, I'm not sure if they want to remove those too. But right now, Amtrak has those two Talgos. They have the Series 6, which are the ones that they got in the 90s when they were new. And then the Series 8s are the two new ones that they got. They asked you, a few years ago from the state of Oregon.
It's funny.
And I haven't heard ODOT comment on this yet, so I'm kind of curious to see how they react. So, could Washington get new cars and Oregon just keep the Talgos? Or it's a joint project, but Oregon does have a say in this too.
Yeah, well, the Talgos in the report about the crash, the NTSB does have something to say about the Toggos being... I'm not sure if the word they used was substandard, but that's kind of what they meant. It's like...
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, like they don't meet the FRA standards for like structural resilience and things like that.
That might be slightly outdated. Just because the FRA, I know, a couple of months ago, in fact, amended their definitions for a lot of structural stuff.
That's true.
European standards for the longest time have been really quote-unquote subpar by American standards, but American standards were the equivalent of, like, 70s American cars.
Yeah,
it's like, how do we make it structurally compliant? Put more steel on it.
Held the...
I don't know, unless that's with regard to the new regulations as well, I'm not sure that really means much.
Yeah,
no, but they, I'm just bringing that up as they made that statement.
Right.
I don't necessarily agree with it. But
according to the article, it says that the Series 8s aren't criticized by the NTSB. So
the Series 8s aren't?
They aren't, because they're newer,
well,
and they've been upgraded. Where I think the construction has changed from the Series 6 to the 8.
Well, anyway,
I hope they can find some middle ground that works for everyone.
All right, let's talk about politics.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Oh, no, I don't want to.
Here we go. Come on.
No, I don't want to.
Which ones? They're all political.
No.
So FRA, speaking of, I guess, federal stuff, FRA is basically eliminating the mandate on 2 main crews, which means railroads like UP and their precision schedule railroad will probably go down to 1 cruise.
Yeah.
1 main crew.
Well,
Wait, what? That's not safe at all.
Hold on.
Well, I mean,
I just found,
like, it's always been engineer and conductor.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know
I
why
did read
they
the
would.
article. It did say a second set of eyes provides only minimal safety improvements and should be employed only on safety temporary basis, given the fact it could aggravate engineers
So they're
become a
saying
distraction.
it's a good idea. Think of the workload. The conductor's over there talking with dispatch and everything, and then
yeah, I mean, you play Run 8 as one person.
yeah, but that's a game. That's a game.
Well, it's a game, but you look at a lot of these, like BNSF's Cascade Corridor, as an example. Let's just do that. With the PTC implementation, I was talking to one of the guys with BNSF and describing their operations. The engineer is not really driving the train so much as he is sitting there monitoring the computer systems that are driving the train.
Yep.
Is this a good idea? Yeah, is this a good idea? I would say no. Am I surprised by it? Not in the slightest.
No, I'm really not. I don't have really strong feelings.
This is also something that has been talked about for at least 20 years now. This is something that has been in the works a very, very long time. And as well, the FRA this is an easy one to forget, and so many people like to blow this out of proportion, but self-proclaimed, the FRA designates minimum applicable safety standards.
Yep.
If railroads want to employ 2 people, which there's really no reason from a business standpoint to do so,
yeah,
by all means they can, and it probably is a good idea. And back in the day, I'd like to think a lot of railroad companies still would have because of, again, the FRA is a minimum. It's not about this is what everybody should be doing or what everybody needs to do. This is the absolute minimum that you have to do by law in order to be kosher.
Yep. Also, isn't it...
Because currently little...
Sorry,
go ahead.
I was saying, also, isn't it, like... something like, there is... Yeah, so the thing to mandate 2 crew members on every freight train is not something that was, based on the wording of this, is not something that was an FRA standard. It was a proposition people proposed to make it a standard, and that's been shot down. So to this point, there's never been an FRA rule that says you need a minimum crew size of 2. Railroads have just done that anyway.
Right.
I mean,
I believe that's a union thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's part railroad, and it's part the unions are pushing, the unions push that as well. That's a big part of it, and that's something that's mentioned in this article, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It's another step. Again, you're right. It's something that's been in the works for a long, long time, and with increased PDC implementation, with increased automation, all that kind of stuff, this is not in the least surprising, and it's just another step in a direction that we were already going.
It's not. Oh god, I already lost the wording. I thought of it 5 seconds ago, and it's gone. It was deemed to be non-essential from a minimum standpoint.
Yeah. But,
this is not something that is required, or it wasn't deemed essential, so they won't make it an absolute. If railroads want to keep 2-man crews, by all means.
And it really doesn't change anything right now.
No.
It just changes, it changes what paths may be pursued in the future. Although, if we are talking about automated transit, because I think we may see a, sorry, Kevon, go ahead, because I'm trying to segue.
Okay. I was just saying that it was a proposed rule for the FRA.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they were proposing to make it a rule that you needed 2 people, and that got shut down.
One more thing, just food for thought before we leave on this.
Yeah.
Now that there's no worry about it being a federal thing from the railroad standpoint, if they really decide that they want to have 1-man crews and the unions strike over it, that's half as many people to replace.
Yeah. Also true. But if we're talking about automated vehicles, and this isn't explicitly train related, but I see it all the time when I get off the train, and it's a transit thing. Rhode Island has actually introduced a it's 6, it's a test pilot program of automated shuttle buses. The little
tic-tac looking things?
Yeah. They
okay.
They will take you from downtown, from the train station to Omniville Square and back. And they are automated. They drive themselves. They do have a monitor, because you can't have a self-driving car with nobody in it. The law does not allow for that yet. But it is an automated thing. And because it's a test pilot program, of course, they have, monitors in there, not just because you need to by law, but to keep an eye on it, just in case.
Right.
And there have been some hiccups, but I am super excited because I'm going to go and ride one of these with TJ. Just for the hell of it. Just to be in a self-driving car. It's cute. It's like you get 4 passengers, and the 2 seats face one another, so it's like you're in a little booth in the back. Sorry, what were you saying about it?
Oh no, nothing.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. It's just it's a transit thing. So
yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
On the note of things that might drive themselves at some point, that we're really hoping they don't.
Oh no.
Things that do drive or did drive until earlier today, apparently. Rear Grand Southern number 20 steamed for the first time in 68 years earlier this week. They steamed her for 2 days. The first day they were setting safety valves, and the second day they hooked her up to the shop's Plymouth and ran her back and forth to make sure that they had set the timing correctly. She sounds... and then they broke it. She sounds wonderful. The sound that she makes is, I've just been describing it as delightfully evil.
Delightfully evil?
Delightfully, because she's got that same sort of noise that the Eureka does. She's got kind of that...
Can we intercut footage of 20 running back and forth at Strasbourg with footage of that video you have of the train from hell going through Moffat Tunnel?
Yeah, exactly. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun.
Effing amazing.
And then the other thing to do with 20 is, well, actually, I'm not going to talk about that. But for no particular reason, segueing to
Cats 50.
the 50th anniversary of the Cumbres and Toltec Scenic will be next year. Yeah, I wonder. Who knows? It's anybody's guess. Anyways, Cats' 50th anniversary is next year. They've invited a number of people down. I know they're hoping to have 168 done. They most likely will, but I'm not going to speak in absolutes because steam engines.
Because only a Sith has an absolutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The museum is planning to send Goose 7 down, I believe. And absolutely nothing else.
Nothing. Nothing else.
Nothing. Nothing at all.
No.
That's that.
Okay.
Also,
Not
just,
even the coast?
again, because I'm going to keep rolling with this segue, 168 had a steam test.
Yay.
So, yeah, that's cool. I haven't heard any of the lowdown on how it went, but it was
Boom.
It was timed. It was apparently plumbed a little bit. Yeah, they did a little bit more plumbing on it, and they steam tested it, and it is going well.
Awesome.
I got something to say off of that.
Yeah.
Speaking of awesome things happening in Antonito,
Uh-oh.
White Pass 61 is turning out fucking beautiful. Alright. Like we did the Tribers, and they are beautiful. I can't wait to see this one.
They did look nice.
I can't wait to see the 168, but I can't wait to see the 61 too.
I did like to see. I do like to see all these little projects that are happening. Yeah.
There she is.
Yeah.
Why is she painted like that? I don't know.
Hey, TBA.
Thanks, Bob.
What?
What is one thing that we have talked about on both of the last times you were on the podcast? What was one really annoying thing that we talked about in the articles section? And I'll tell you, it has to do with railroad crossings.
I don't know.
Trains idling for hours upon hours upon
Oh
hours.
boy.
Guess what? We have another article on that from Clinton, Ohio. In fact, locomotives,
Oh no.
CSX locomotives idling and rumbling for sometimes 12 hours at a time.
Oh my
Just
god.
sitting there on a spur.
Oh boy.
Because that's not annoying. And also, apparently...
The Fox 8 I-Team.
I remember now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm kind of tired.
Alright.
It just clicked. Of towns getting cut in half
Yep.
because
Or just idling trains in general.
I just realized something. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Also, apparently the air brakes are shaking people's houses.
Oh boy.
Because
Also,
in the
did
middle...
you guys read the article?
I'm reading part of it. Why?
Okay, I found a part of it.
Oh no.
The train belongs to CSX, so we contacted the company. A sign on the locomotive shows remote control locomotive, and we've learned CSX is looking into why the automated start-stop technology
It's when you go...
So apparently, the Roomba motive goes back to its starting point and forgets to turn itself off.
It's like when you
We
go
have
to leave your car
here.
and you hit the fob to lock the doors, but you're too far away from it and you don't realize that. And then you come back to your car and all your stuff is gone and you wonder why.
Jesus. Speaking of railways and problems with towns,
Oh no.
BNSF has. Well, they're still flooding that. They're still flooding Fremont County.
Yeah, we've talked about that before, I believe.
This has been on the podcast before. They did something about it, but they didn't do enough about it.
Ooh.
And so, sure, they made some pipes to channel the water through, but they haven't made.
God damn it.
They laid pipe. They laid pipe, but they didn't lay enough pipe.
Man, I hate when that happens.
No, so, sure, there's water flowing under the tracks now, but there's not enough, and it's still flooding the town. So they're still working on a solution. But at this point, the town is like, they don't care what happens. They just don't care.
They just don't want to die.
BNSF is building artificial lakes next to its track. That's what they're doing.
They're trying.
Salt Lake Causeway.
Yeah,
BNSF, hold my
except the
beer.
causeway is there first and the lake is coming next.
Look at our lake. BNSF, that's Indiana.
BNSF, that was Indiana.
Okay.
Glub,
That was,
glub,
yeah.
glub.
Glub glub.
Here.
What is this
But,
picture of 20? Is that 20?
That the
I know it's a thing.
Yeah, that was at the museum
not
way,
good.
way back in the day when it was still
It
an
said
outpost.
1957.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
that was the
awful.
year before Google.
You know
Yeah,
what?
it
It's
is.
awful.
Union
Union Pacific cut 195 jobs in Hermes, Michigan. And they also closed down Heinkel. Or Hinkle.
Hinkle? Tinkle?
They closed
Uh,
down Hinkle?
Well, according to this, the Hinkle yard will see reductions, but will remain operational. Bullshit.
You know,
Also,
Bullshit.
they're
They laid
closing
off
Global
everyone in
3.
Hinkle.
Gillies tried to convince me
Yeah.
a while ago, like months ago, that they were gonna shut down Roseville, and I called him retarded.
No.
Oof.
Ah,
No. No, they already cut the balls off of Eugene. They wouldn't do that to Roseville.
You
Like
say that.
they're gonna.
yeah.
You say that. Yeah.
Does
No,
the
I was
CEO stand to make $5?
Oh,
Just dangle
no.
it in front of him on the fishing rod. Ooh, you gotta be quicker than that. You almost had it. This
But-
thing is all played on.
I didn't mean to take over from you, Milky. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I was done. I was just making a point of. Oh no, they weren't. Oh no, Hinkle Yard will see reductions, but will remain operational. Bullshit.
But speaking of something that's not remaining in operation, Union Pacific is closing Global 3.
Yep.
Isn't that a intermodal?
It's a
Yeah,
big
in
intermodal
Chicago.
facility outside of Chicago, I believe.
Isn't that like the huge intermodal facility that they built 20 years ago or something?
Is it?
Yeah, and then
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Wait,
It's-
why
it's
are they
basically
closing that?
Large intermodal facility.
Just reorganizing.
basically precision schedule railroading. They just don't want to use it.
Blah blah blah.
And the
Yes,
city
there's a
is
lot of
pissed
cuts.
off, and they're building their own transloading facility.
Yeah, I'd be pissed off too.
With blackjack and hookers. Yeah, NS is
Also,
laying off
they
people
didn't
too,
even know. They
But just all around,
uh,
there are 2 articles on this. But PSR seems to be synonymous with layoffs and cuts. Who could have seen that one coming?
Yep.
ooh, you want to know what's working with PSR for the railroads though?
Money.
Oh, why can't I read? Okay, yes, money, lots of fees. The railroads have been increasing fees on transporting rail cars, and it's pissing off the entire basically
Everyone.
industry. Like even this, I was reading an article. CSX took the largest share of the fees this year at $370 million, 94% increase from 2017. 94%.
Cow.
Ouch.
That reminds me of freaking the times before the Interstate Commerce Commission stepped in.
So you're saying that railroads are charging more to use them to ship stuff, basically,
Yeah,
right?
to use their cars to
Yep.
ship stuff. Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. So the solution is just own your own railroad cars.
Yeah,
Yes.
makes sense. Cap's forehead. I mean, wasn't there a craze for that in like the 60s or the 70s? Maybe a little bit later.
I don't know.
I remember there was a point in time where like every you know little industry and backwater branch line just bought their own cars, and it was fairly recently. It was like in the last several decades. I don't remember why.
Beats me. I mean, I know that was common practice for almost 100 years,
Yeah.
but
It was, but there was
It
like
went
a
away
craze
and
of
then-
it. Like it went and then it came again, like in force.
interesting.
I don't remember. Again, we were talking
Yeah,
about it at the model railroad maybe, I don't know, several months ago. Anyway,
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know where to go other than narrow gigs. So the 223 website posted an update on how their tours went, which
Yeah.
we always said that we went on.
Yep.
I liked it. I
it's
liked
a
their
nice
tour.
little operation.
And they had about
Did they make any indication as to whether or not they're going to be kicked out?
They got opt out.
Oh.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
Oh.
F.
So they had the recommendation of mayor, email the Ogden City Council and the mayor, or phone them. So I would recommend doing that. I've already written the city council and the mayor about just the museum in general, but yeah, go help them out. They need it.
Yeah. Wow. That kind of sucks.
That does.
Yeah. And now, for something completely different, Oregon Coast Scenic has stepped in to save locomotive number 90, which I have actually climbed on.
Of course you have.
Because a long time ago there wasn't a fence. And by a long time ago, I mean a few years ago when I saw it.
Save steam engines. Save
But
the steam engines.
I'm glad that they can finally do this, because it's been next to their shops for the past 20 years. And they haven't been able to do anything because of the multiple entities that owned it.
Oh, wait, like it's right there?
Yeah, it's right next
Oh,
to
I
their
had no
shop.
idea.
Yeah. Move it about 100 feet. It's in their shop building.
I did not realize that.
But anyways, good to see that it's getting saved and that it will be operational at some point on the Oregon Coast Scenic. And the current fundraiser up to do the initial buying and then moving of it. The 100 feet.
Cool.
It's an expensive 100 feet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, from 100 feet to 100 miles, we talk about something that I don't actually know if it's going to be quite 100 miles, but it's a massive undertaking that has been proposed. Yeah, it's a large ruler. There is a group that has proposed to build what they're calling the Uinta Basin Railway, a new railway, wait for it, to run in the Uinta Basin.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's
Who
weird,
wants the railroad there?
Lunatics,
Yeah, I know, it's kinda
that's
strange.
so.
That's pretty much. This would be interesting to say the least. It would just be kind of an oil hauling, desert, middle of nowhere type feeder line, but it would be most interesting in that it's almost 100 miles of freight railroad that would be built in the modern era.
Yeah.
It looks like a lot more than 100 miles, but still.
I mean, they'd have to build 200 miles as the crow flies to get to Craig.
Well, I don't think they're going to Craig.
That was one of their final, like...
Oh, they're eventually going to go to Craig?
That was one of, like, the phase 4, like, in the future, if we get
stretch
real
goals.
Good. Yeah, stretch goals. That's a good way to call
The
it.
stretch goal. The stretch goal. Either way, whatever they get done, it's interesting because it's not every day that you get freight railroads being built. Not resurrected, not relayed over original grade, like built on virgin ground.
New. Yeah.
Virgin
A
ground.
new route.
It's not every day. It's not every year. It's not every
said it was-
decade.
Hey, you notice?
Yeah.
Reminder.
I said it was virgin ground, Ellis. I didn't say it was like blooming, wonderful ground.
Listen,
it's sand,
it's virgin
dirt,
ground
sand.
because nobody has sex there because nobody goes there.
Yeah, because it's virgin ground because nobody likes it.
I mean, even look at the Alaska Railroad.
It won't be virgin ground for long.
Ugh.
Honestly,
Just, I don't know why. Something about the way you said that. Ugh.
Oh boy.
I was going to segue into something here, but I think it'd be ill-advised. There's a video of the 150th thing from the Spike.
Listen,
go watch it.
TBA, if you really want to do that with the ground, I'll go and get you a teaspoon to dig a hole with.
Wow.
ouch.
That's not. I never said I wanted to bang the ground.
I mean,
What are
you
you?
insinuated.
I did this to myself. It won't
And the
be
ground.
virgin ground for long.
God God.
Raises eye ridge.
You know what won't be the ground anymore?
What?
TriMet is looking at extending their red line to hills below. So that
hey.
won't be virgin ground anymore.
Speaking of line extensions, I heard the other day, it's not confirmed or anything, I just heard it, like,
Breaking news.
you know, from
Yep.
talk, from news and stuff. Regional Transit wants to extend the light rail line out to a stop, like, near me, to Antelope and Watt
Very
Avenue.
nice.
Still nothing across the river into West Sacramento, but, you know, I mean, I looked around, I actually put thought into it. There is no room for it. Like, there's not a whole lot of room anywhere in West Sac. There's no way that they were, you know, I wouldn't want to have to build a bridge across the river.
Well, they probably would.
But, you know, I looked, there's no real good way to get it out there.
Well, I'm sure there'll be some survey done. They'll figure something out. But you know what the thing you don't want on your transit?
People getting run over?
That too. We can talk about that in a second. But
Okay.
anarchists.
Before we talk about that,
Anarchists.
sorry.
Although we were talking about construction, I could have gone into my other two things because I wanted to talk about that. But this is a fun, with a fat asterisk, story out of New York.
Hang on. Sorry. I've gotta go. I really hate to bail, but I have to.
Alright, put a thing for latest train and Amtrak termination.
Okay.
Just write it down.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, I'll see you. Why, did something blow up at the museum?
No.
Oh.
20 didn't blow the other cylinder head off. It's nothing bad. I have to go.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright, now I will.
Termination is and it's not the thing. It's not the thing, Ellis. It's a different thing. Anyway,
Oh,
bye.
okay. Anyway, so there are, I have to. I'm not gonna look at it now. I'm not gonna look at it now.
sorry.
I'll look at it later.
It's for the best.
So there's
Best,
people in New York City that have been going around and just pulling the emergency brakes on subway trains for no reason,
what the hell?
just because they're trying to cause chaos. Because they're bored New Yorkers, I would assume. The public has been asked to try and catch these cord pullers. Because, of course, when you pull the emergency brake, not only does the train stop, it delays all the ones behind it, and then you have to reset all that stuff. Which can take like half an hour. Which, in the middle of a rush hour commute, half an hour is a long time. That's a disaster. So, holy crap. This is annoying. Like, somebody's gonna wind up dead. Like, some New Yorker's gonna get real upset. And someone's gonna die. Like, you don't mess with this. On the other side, we were talking about construction. Brightline has announced their construction start between Orlando and South Florida. There are tracks between West Palm Beach and Orlando International Airport. Virgin Trains, formerly known as Brightline, beginning the expansion at the airport with the installation of 3 miles of track there and 70 acres for a maintenance shop, and then they're going to be building from that direction, I believe. So they're going to be building in the airport, and then they're going to be building from both directions. They're going to have a golden spike, except it's going to sink into the swamp because it's Florida. And then it's going to be stolen and sold for meth money.
And then owned by Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. So, they want the start of service to be in 2022. They estimate that they will need 490,000 ties and 2.35 million tons of granite and limestone by 20,000 rail cars. 2 million spikes and bolts will be hammered and put in place over the next 36 months. That's 35 miles of track from the airport to near Cocoa along State Road 528, and another 129 miles of rail along the East Coast that will require upgrade. And construction of 100 miles of new track, probably for passing sidings and stuff. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's they're planning to develop service between Orlando's airport and Tampa with a station at Walt Disney World, because of course. Yeah, this is exciting. Go Brightline.
I remember this being a thing a long time ago when Florida was actually trying to build high-speed rail.
Well, they are again.
And then
It's Virgin Trains.
No, I know, but there was a whole debacle between Disney and Universal Studios and who got the train,
Oh,
and that's why no one got a train.
Uh,
But now, Brightline is sending it to Disney, of course.
Yep.
Also, the historic station in Detroit is now past the cleaning it up stage and onto the construction stage. They're going to be repairing 8 acres of masonry in the steel structure of the building, which is the second phase of the project. So the second phase is officially begun and is expected to last until 2021. They're going to be putting up scaffolding. They're going to be removing 1,200 feet of cornice and restore almost 1,200 tower windows to preserve the appearance. And then they're going to be basically peeling back the bricks and stuff and redoing what's underneath. So,
Okay, I'm good.
yeah,
Okay.
it's amazing. The amount of work that they're planning to do is really something. I mean,
Those tracks still inside?
no,
No, that's shadows.
there may
I
be
think.
tracks, but it's not a place where anything currently runs.
No, I know.
Well, speaking of artwork, the Greater Washington, what kind of newspaper name is that? Did an article on the proposed DC subway streetcar network that would have happened in 1944.
Oh yeah, this is really
But it's really awesome. It would have been probably one of the largest streetcar expansions.
in 1944 too.
And
Yeah,
this was
I-
for, yeah. This is, yeah, that was before the
Which
end of
is
the world.
pretty late in terms of
Yeah.
expansions for trolley systems.
Yeah.
But it's just an awesome proposal that it could have been a really awesome network. And I think now Metro wants on some of this, but not nearly as much as it was planned to be. And they would have won this with PCCs, I think. Yeah, PCCs.
Well, I mean,
So all around, just a neat idea that could have happened. Had people accepted the proposal.
That's a big F there.
Yeah.
big F.
Speaking of things going bust in trolleys,
Bustin'.
the White Horse trolley, which ran on the north end, the very north end of the White Pass in Yukon, which has been in operation since 2000, is now out of service.
Aw.
Yukon Tourism Minister says waterfront trolley is too expensive to keep running, which is the same.
That's sad. Well, I mean,
But-
it does have the added advantage of now when the White Pass in Yukon actually gets up there, they won't have to share.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, that's something that I was concerned about. It's like, how do you reconcile this? Also, they were cheaters, so
Yeah,
I
that's true. And I think the car that they're using is a WeGage 42-inch
oh, is it
car.
really? That's even dirtier.
It looks like it has been car.
I saw the picture and I went, "Where's the?" Oh, I see it. The trailer.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, "Where's the wire?" Oh, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, there's me. And I don't know where I'm gonna go from this, but Coos Bay Rail operators said like the swing bridge that can have the swing bridge operating in less than 2 weeks. This was kind of a response to the Georgia Pacific closing their mill because they're impatient.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully they don't close down the other mill that they have, the only one that they have on the Oregon coast.
Yeah.
Because that would entail a whole branch line getting screwed for the most part.
Yeah.
Because P&W wants 2 trains a day west of Fulfillment, and that's where it goes to.
Just the one mill.
Yep. I think they have a few other industries in there, but the mill is the big industry. Like, Watco does scripting for just the mill.
Watco. I always confuse Watco and Opco.
Yeah.
Wait, Wapco and... Wait,
Watco.
Actually, if we could talk about companies for a second.
Yeah.
So you know how G&W was is trying to basically sell the entire company?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Here are, among the bidders, are Blackstone, which I don't know what that is. I assume it's not the model makers.
Yeah.
And also Brookfield.
Soon as I... Oh, go ahead.
Which I thought was Brookfield for a minute, but Brookfield Asset Management and Blackstone Group LP, Stone Peak Infrastructure Partners, EQT Partners. There are a bunch of people that are trying to get their hands on G&W. They're looking at least $110 per share. The company wants $110 per share, which means about $6.2 billion to buy out G&W.
Which that doesn't sound like a lot.
It doesn't sound like a
hoping
lot.
the new operator allows steam and passengers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
G&W plus.
Yeah.
But I'm just even thinking of that price, $6.2 billion. The commuter line, which is only like 30 miles to upgrade the line, get the locomotives and all that, was $1 billion.
Yeah.
That just doesn't seem like a lot of money.
I know. Well, G&W is just looking to sell the company. You know, they're not trying to they're not trying to be really strategic about, oh well, how much is this worth? It's still a lot of money though. But think about it. 6.2 billion is a lot, but G&W pales in comparison to all the class 1s, you know, that sort of thing. They own a lot, but those properties are really self-contained. They don't have this huge network. They just have a lot of small branch lines.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So, I don't know. I think that's certainly something to keep an eye on. I gotta say that much.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else have we got?
It's
Let's wrap some stuff up and then close the show out.
TSF 2926 celebrating its 25th birthday.
Graham was there.
Yeah, Graham was probably there.
No, I know he was there. He has pictures.
Oh, foam. Yeah. And then the 9010 group did a quick recap on their rebuild of their May cap.
Yes, give me more 9010 news. The Kraus, give me. It's gonna
and
do everything.
Canyon will be unveiling it this summer. So
I like the Kraus.
I believe all the news and whatnot is on their website, all the dates. I think it's July. So Canyon is going to have a fun summer.
The number one Maybach is damaged beyond our ability to overhaul. Oof.
UTA killed somebody.
Oh, fun. Like that.
Oh, yeah. George's friend that I met while I was on that train.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they were
same.
Jesus.
It was the same cab car that hit the FedEx truck, too.
Oh,
man, just get rid of that thing.
Damn it.
It's cursed.
It's cursed.
We're going to start
it's a
calling
cursed
it Lucy.
Cursed car.
I think
Lucifer.
Yeah, I did see it while I was out there.
We did. We all saw it.
Yeah.
And then I guess a guy was killed while cleaning a tank car. The car exploded, which is kind of like,
oof.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I was
that's
actually
a little bit unnerving.
So I posted that article, and then a few days later on the train, this guy comes up to me, and we're going through Hajar, which is on by Fort Worth and Western, and there's a bunch of tank cars. He's like, "Oh yeah, my dad a long time ago used to clean these out," and like he talked about one of his friends getting killed. I'm like, "Was this the article?" And he's like, "Wait, no, that was back in 1950s." I'm like, "Wow,
man, that would have been like kind of scary."
I know.
I don't think he would have been talking about it so nonchalantly if one of his buddies died yesterday. You know.
Well, no, it was his dad's buddy. That's what I was just like.
Still, though. You put some gravity on everything. Alright, anyway, what else? I noticed some things on your plate, but...
That was all my stuff.
Yep.
Bessemer and, what is it, Erie locomotive 643s for sale, supposedly.
I mean, it is.
No one
it
actually
isn't.
knows.
Like, it was on eBay, but I think that was a joke. But it is actually like somebody needs to save the damn thing. I believe.
I would buy it, but not for that much.
Everyone is goddamn confused about the whole ordeal.
Yeah, I'm really not sure what's happening with it because of the whole thing with the eBay. Like, I'm not sure that with the eBay. Yeah, like I'm 80 years old.
Why is it on eBay and not on Ozark
It
Mountain or
wasn't
anything
on,
like that?
like the eBay listing was fake. As far as I know, the eBay listing was not real, but the engine
But
is
apparently,
in
it
trouble.
actually, yeah.
Huh.
So
Okay. Well, the eBay link's still up. So.
Save the engines.
California High-Speed Rail.
oh man, I
lost
wanted to
basically
save that.
$1 billion
to talk about.
from.
What about my high-speed rail?
California High-Speed Rail. So
one thing
California
got-
High-Speed Rail, as we previously talked about, canned a large majority of the project for the ballooning budget. And the federal government says, well, then you're going to give those funds back that we granted you for that project, right? And California sort of went, well, we kind of already spent them on the project. And the government is like, no, but we're taking those funds back and we're putting them elsewhere. And California said, no, you don't, and fought a lawsuit. And so now things are getting really entertaining. Where the
Why do
federal
I
government
live in
goes, well,
this state?
actually, well, hold on, let's not get too hasty. So we'll see where this goes. I mean,
California's crazy, and I want out. Let me.
frankly,
But California is fine for the high speed.
yeah, frankly, I really am annoyed at the fact that the project was canned. A huge public works project like that, when it goes through multiple administrations, people with different ideas, the budget usually gets out of control, the scope gets out of control, and it happened here. You know, it totally happened with CSR. And it annoys me that they canned the project, because what they really needed to do was take a step back and reevaluate the thing, instead of just saying, nope, we're not going to do this anymore. Because not only are they now causing problems, but now they're going to fall behind states that are doing projects like this, including Florida and Texas. And I think being below Florida in anything, if you're not like Alabama, is kind of concerning.
Yeah.
So, you know, California needs to...
I mean, I don't. Coming from somebody who lives here, I don't. Everything is already connected by rail. I don't personally see a need for a high-speed rail unless you're going from Sacramento all the way down to Los Angeles, because that just takes way too goddamn long to drive.
Yeah, which is what they were
More
trying to do.
for like business. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do, especially for business people that need to travel between the two.
Oh, and I mean, you could have said the same thing about. Well, I mean, the Northeast Corridor is kind of a poor example because it was already there, and the trains don't go that fast. But having things that are that close available by a high-speed rail service, or even one that runs consistently, it pays dividends. And
I'm sure.
I think because we, in my opinion, I'm going to soapbox here for a second, I apologize. We as a country really need to care about things like high-speed rail infrastructure. It is super important, not just for commerce and such, but also for the fact that high-speed rail is, electric trains are basically the most efficient form of overland transportation that we know of, because they power directly by electricity, which can be renewable,
Yep.
and they are, very space efficient and all that jazz. So, we really need to be looking into this thing, and the reason that it disappoints me so much that California high-speed rail is put on hold or shelved like this is because California is one of the few places in the U.S. where A, it makes sense, B, they have the money, and C, they have the space. And there are very,
Yeah.
very few places where those three things line up.
And also, we have the people that would ride
Yeah,
it.
you have the density. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
That's what I meant by it makes sense. You're not going to make a high-speed rail project from
we
Denver to
we
Cheyenne,
have we have a big use for it, because you rode up here from LA. Look
Yeah.
at all that flat land.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
there's so much room.
Oh yeah, you guys have the room. It's hard to do something
Use
like
it
that.
for something other than building cities.
No, build cities around it.
No,
Yeah.
no more cities. Enough people.
Well, I mean,
You
do-
can't control
it's
that.
difficult to
You
do.
can't control that.
yeah. Stop having kids, goddammit.
Stop it.
Anyway, all right, yeah. So there's that. You can read all about that debacle. This is an ongoing matter. So I'm interested. But anyway, what else?
I guess there's what is this? In Olympia, Washington, basically a Amtrak station is staying alive just because of one volunteer who's a 96-year-old, which is kind of crazy.
He's not the only volunteer.
Well, I know, but like,
Lightning round, we've got Sodor Island 3D is back up for Thomas the Tank Engine in trains. So that's cool.
Derail Valley has a big update coming next month.
Yay!
It's not the multiplayer update. We are still 2,000 points, 3,000 points short of the multiplayer even being started in
I don't like
development. That's the train mod support is in development, Milky.
Yeah.
Mod the drinks.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Jim.
Also,
But
I want to model for Wall. Or fuck. Derail Valley. Long game.
also, we've got a video here of what it's like to be inside a car that's hit by a train.
Oh, I will watch that. But we're 3,000 points short of the multiplayer, so we're getting there. I keep checking it daily, and it creeps up every now and again. So
Well, that's good.
they're getting the support, but in the next update, we're getting a whole new
World.
No, we're getting a whole new
Copyright.
cargo and places to go. We're getting a rail bus and a caboose.
Yes.
I don't know what we're gonna do
Yes.
with the rail
bus, Yes.
with the rail bus, but we're getting a rail bus. So I'm just really glad to see this game getting developed because I think it has some good potential.
Oh yeah, it's a great game. Anyway, all right. So is that? You can click on that link, TBA. Get that out of the way. I'll talk about the Acela cars later.
What link?
This one, the getting hit by a train thing, because I've got to delete it and put it in the other thing.
Here. All right, I got it.
All right. So there's that.
I
All
want
right.
to see this.
Let's talk about the latest train on Amtrak. Weibel already had his guess that it was the westbound California Zephyr. So what do you guys guess?
Is the Texas Eagle still running? Southbound.
There are 2 Texas Eagles on the system.
There is not one. I don't know if it's late then. I will say the eastbound California Zephyr.
Eastbound Zephyr. All right.
Okay.
Milky or TBA, either one.
Oh.
I think it is the westbound Crescent, the Crescent to New York.
Okay.
Westbound Crescent. Ooh, that can be real late.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot about the sunset.
I'm feeling like could be the southbound Coast Starlight.
All right, so let's start with that. The southbound Coast Starlight. There are 2 of them on the system. One of them is on time. It's actually 5 minutes early. And the other one is 1 hour and 8 minutes late. It's actually about to arrive in LA.
I see the Coast Starlight from time to time on my drive to work.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
that's when you had to pick me up. Which Crescent? Come on. Sorry. TBA.
The westbound, not west. Yeah, westbound.
Westbound to New Orleans is 18 minutes late. That's it. So the California Zephyr, the latest one is a westbound. It's 1 hour and 39 minutes late.
That's normal.
The eastbounds are both on time.
Oh, wow.
There's also another westbound that's half an hour late.
Damn,
I was gonna
guess
say the
was
Eagle,
18
'cause-
minutes late. From 18 minutes late for the Crescent. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's really good.
Usually the Crescent's always late.
Wow, this is a weird one to be the latest train on Amtrak. I'm actually going to make sure. I'm going to check with the other ones just to make sure that this is actually it, because that is bizarre. That's even
which one?
weirder. Wow. There is a Lincoln service. Lincoln service, which runs between Chicago and St. Louis, that is 2 hours and 35 minutes late. But
That's the latest train on
that
Amtrak?
is not the latest train on Amtrak. That is the second latest train on Amtrak. The latest train on Amtrak is a San Joaquin.
What the fuck?
It is 2 hours and 41 minutes late.
The plot.
How?
It left Emeryville 2.5 hours behind schedule.
Yes, are.
That's really bizarre.
Yeah,
That's one that I would never guess.
yeah. Those are the kinds of trains that are typically never that late. That's really
Yeah,
weird.
no,
It's like a 2-hour trip anyway, isn't
Yeah.
Like the San Joaquins and the Capital Corridor trains are almost never ever that late.
Yeah. Well, it's like when I see a Down Easter that late. The run takes 3 hours. How are you this late?
I know there was another train on that was late, but it already made it to its destination.
There are also a
'Cause I
number of
saw it at
trains
work.
undergoing a service disruption. Oh man.
A service? What happened?
I don't know. There is a Silver Star that it currently reads as an hour and 57 minutes late, but it will reach its next destination 4.5 hours late. So technically that's the latest train. But it's amazing that these trains are as late as they are. Anyway. Alright, let's do our terminations. I need to go and grab that link so I can put it in here. Give me a second. Scroll up. There's past the picture of 377 that I posted by accident. In the wrong group. Okay. Kevon,
Yes.
what's your termination?
My termination is the top 10 train Thomas the Tank Engine mods for video games.
Oh,
boy.
no. What? Is Skyrim in there?
Yes, I will not spoil which
Effing
number
better
Skyrim
be.
is.
TBA or Abby?
I hug everybody. I
Crunch.
wrap my rings around everybody and hug them.
Alright, I have an amazing clip from Achievement Hunter of Ryan being Ryan. And I implore everyone to watch this because it's so bad. It's too soon. It's so bad. But I cannot stop laughing so hard.
Yep.
I laughed so hard I cried. I honestly cried. I couldn't breathe. Alright, anyway.
Mine is like a last minute cool stuff update, but Como has finished their boxcar that they're moving this month.
Yay.
Yay.
Alright, and Wild has a thing. Precision scheduled railroading. Anyway, we thank you guys for joining us on the Terminus podcast this week. Oh, I didn't put the camera in. Play. Sorry.
Okay.
And this was Mason.
Give me more time to make a better PSR.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna let the passenger train go through.
Because you're supposed to capitalize the other others when you make the meme.
Anyway,
That was good.
hope you guys enjoyed this video, this podcast, and we'll see you again in another 2 weeks. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.